I'm going to go ahead and call the Independence Planning Commission meeting to order. And please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did you see how quick I got out?
Yeah, well, I sold the chair.
Oh, really? So thank you for being here tonight. It is Planning Commission for the City of Independence on June the 9th, 2026, and it is 6:01 p.m. In order to expedite and to get tonight's meeting running smoothly, if anyone here tonight would like to speak, you do need to be sworn in. So I'm going to ask for you to go ahead and stand at this time and raise your right hand. All right. Do you swear to tell the truth to this commission tonight? If so, say I will. All right, thank you very much. All right, for those of you who have not been to a planning commission meeting before, when it is your time to speak, you're going to be asked to state your name and your address where you reside. In addition, any concerns, questions, anything you want to tell, you do address that to me, the chair, and then we will operate the meeting accordingly. We do have a chance to review the minutes tonight, guys, and also the consent agenda. I will entertain a motion. Oh, excuse me, let's do roll call.
My mind just went blank. Commissioner Nesbitt?
Here.
Commissioner Ferguson?
Here.
Commissioner Ashbaugh?
Present.
Commissioner O'Neill?
Here.
Commissioner Torres?
Here.
Commissioner Young?
Here.
And Chairperson Wiley.
Here.
Chair,
Yes,
I like to
Commissioner Nesbitt.
I'd like to remove case 26-310-01, 26-320-01, and 26-320-02 from the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to separate out the three cases from the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I do have a second. All right, go ahead, Commissioner Nesbitt.
I'd like to make a motion now that we approve the consent agenda.
All right, thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we will look at the first case on the consent agenda.
Ask for a vote.
Okay, I will call for a vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt?
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill?
Yes.
Commissioner Torres?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
And Chairperson Wiley.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. All
Okay.
right, for a separate conversation, do you want to
Yes.
go ahead and start?
Yes.
Commissioner?
On 26-310-01, staff, go back over why we're bringing this back up again.
Okay, you're talking about the preliminary plat
Yes.
for Meadowbrook Estates. It's expired again
Okay.
from the last time that it came before you.
Isn't this the second time it's expired now, or third?
It's the second time, so this should be the third time it's come up.
Do we have any type of rule that we can't do it any more times, or what's the deal here?
No, it's just when it expires, you have to reconsider it again.
Okay, so are they going back exactly like it was when we approved it last time? Is there any changes?
I think one of the major changes, that road, that second entrance on the northwest side that went out to Artie Mize is no longer there. That's the thing that jumps out at me,
Okay.
top of my head.
So you're saying they're doing away with an entrance into
Yes.
the subdivision?
Mm-hmm.
So how many entrances are there going to be in that subdivision?
The current one.
Just one?
Yeah, that may have been the prior one, actually, that had that other entrance.
Because what I'm looking at, there's still two entrances. So, I mean, that's why I want to make sure that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're looking at. I'm looking at the preliminary plat here,
That's what I'm looking at. Looks
and
like to me that-
it shows the existing one there at the southeast, and then that that semi cul-de-sac runs up to be another cul-de-sac,
right.
and there's no other entrance. There's no way to get to Eureka, and there's no other entrances onto Artie Mize.
Staff, would it be appropriate if someone from that case is present that we could ask them some clarifying questions?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Is there someone here from this particular case? All right. Please state your name and your address.
Jack Murphy, 3215 North Juanita Drive, Buckner, Missouri.
All right. Can you respond to Commissioner Nesbitt's question?
Yes, on preliminary plat, we just paid for permits like 7 months ago. So even though it was going when we got permits paid for, and then by the time we got the bonds, probably 6 months ago, all the bonds paid in on everything. And we started going and we come up with kind of the hiccup. So we've had to kind of slow things down and going to resume in the fourth quarter of this year.
Okay, but you're not changing anything off this original plot plan.
Not from, well, I don't know what you have. I know what Brian was talking about, that second entrance is eliminated. We are doing the big Artie Mize improvement, going all the way around, taking the corner out and everything. That's been a big issue for us.
Right.
Uh,
That's, I
just,
see that on the plot plan.
yeah,
Okay. So so maybe I'm looking at I can't, it's so small, I can't read it, but it looks
Yes.
like to me, the Artie Mize is the only road in here, then everything else comes off, all the other cul-de-sacs and all the other stuff comes off that one entrance
Yes.
down there. Okay. But that was on the original plan. I just want to make sure nothing else was changing.
yeah, because I think the original plans was created by the first developer
Right, it was, yes.
way back in
Who knows when.
15 years ago.
Okay. Okay, that's all I added. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
And just no other changes that we need to be aware of?
No, ma'am.
All right. Any additional questions? All right, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Chair, I make a motion we approve case 26-310-01.
I second.
All right. I will call for the vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
and Chairperson Wiley.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0 for case number 26-310-01. Next case,
Case 26-320-01, the final plat. So basically, we're saying it's all still the same then, is what we're trying to say, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I don't have any other questions on that.
all right, anyone else?
Chair, I make a motion that we approve case 26-320-01.
Second.
And we have a first and a second. I'll go ahead and call that vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Chairperson Wiley.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0 for case number 26-320 and 01. All right, and the third case?
Case 26-320-02. I don't remember this one before. Have we've seen this one before? Is that right?
It was a preliminary plat, I think about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, and they're not changing anything on it?
No.
Not changing anything? Okay.
Any additional questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Chair, I make a motion to approve case 26-320-02.
All right, We have a
Second.
first and a second. Thank you. I will call for that vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
Yes.
and Commissioner Young,
Yes.
and Chairperson Wiley.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0 for case number 26-32002. All right, we will move on to our public hearings for the evening.
I'd like to make a motion that we reorder the agenda to
Okay.
facilitate this meeting.
Okay, I have a motion on the table for the agenda for the public hearing.
Do we need to know what it is first?
Yes.
We'll tell you. Okay, you got your scorecards out here. Okay, under other business, number one under other business would be the first item that we would address.
No.
That's what.
No.
I'm sorry. Number two, it's under other business, but it's number two.
There you go.
Okay.
Number two will be the first item that we would address. And then, under the public hearing section, number four would move to the second position, the second item. Number two, under the public hearing, would become the third item that we would address. Number three, the current number three would move to number four. Number one, currently under the public hearing, would move to number five. Number five would move to number six.
Madam Chair,
And number one, under other business, would move to the last, number seven.
Well, and that, those two would actually be one.
Well, one
Here-
follows the other. correct?
Yeah, well, there's one, we have one presentation for both of those cases simultaneously.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, but we're taking two votes, right?
but yes, you're going to take two votes.
Okay.
So basically, other business is gonna be 1 and 2 then.
No, two's the first one. Under other business, number two is the first one. And then the number one other business would become the last one.
But he says he puts them together when they show them.
No, well, that's number 5 of the regular public hearing would go with number 1.
To expedite this,
Oh.
I will
And that would
make
be,
sure
they would
to
both
call
be
out-
number 6.
Okay, gotcha, never mind.
I'll make
Okay.
sure to call out the right case number.
Okay.
Commissioner O'Neill, did you have a question?
yes, I would like to have him arrange it in order of the case numbers because I got totally lost.
Okay, I will call them out as we move forward. But we will start with other business. Number 2
Okay,
would, as a short-term rental, will be the first one.
We need to vote on it.
So I can repeat that order before we vote, if
No,
you would
that's all right.
prefer.
that's all right.
Okay? So we
Second.
do have a motion, and now we have a second. So I will call for a vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes,
Commissioner Torres,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
and Chairperson Wiley.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. So we will now begin with other business. It is case number 26-463, and that is for a short-term rental. And staff, I look forward to your staff report.
Alrighty, this is case 26-400-63, an application for short-term rental approval of the property located at 5217 South Powell Avenue. The property is located in southeastern Missouri, southeastern Independence. in proximity to the city boundary. Here is a notification area map as required by city code. A zoning district map of the subdivision and the surrounding properties shows the property is right on city boundary. So to the east, abutting the subject site is unincorporated Jackson County and low density residential properties. And surrounding the subject site to the north, west, and south is the Brittany Ridge subdivision, a neighborhood of similar characteristics, age, and design to the property at 5217 South Powell. The property in question is approximately 8,800 square feet in size. The dwelling was constructed in 2000 and encloses approximately 1,800 square feet of living area. The driveway can accommodate up to 2 vehicles without encroaching over to the sidewalk, and additional room is permitted for street parking. Here is a picture of the front facade. And here is street level imagery looking northbound up the street and southbound. Here's a floor plan for the basement level, showing the garage. The main level, where the front entry is located. And finally, the second level. So a total of 3 bedrooms. And the parking plan for the proposed short-term rental shows the driveway can fit 3 cars. However, in this case, the driveway can accommodate up to 2 cars without encroaching over the sidewalk, and 1 car is permitted to park on the street. The nearest short-term rental is located well outside of any required separation requirements. And staff do recommend approval of the application with the standard conditions for approval. That concludes my presentation.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and invite the applicant forward.
Chair, real quick question.
Yes.
Staff, you said there's 3 bedrooms?
That's correct.
How come I'm showing 4 on mine? Or maybe I'm not.
I apologize. Be just a moment.
Okay. I was reading it wrong. I thought it was bathroom 4, not bedroom. That's
I do that all the time.
okay. Thanks.
All right, please state your name and your address.
My name is Alicia Gibson, and my address is 19405 East State Route 78, Independence, Missouri 64057. I am the property manager on behalf of the applicants. I'll tell you about them. They mainly live in Denver, and the husband works at a local company here in the Kansas City metro, and he visits 1 or 2 weeks a month for his job. So they would like to make some extra income on those weeks that it's not their main residence. I have met you all before. I work for Airbnb. We have a few rentals in the area. We have over 10 years of experience, and we have the availability to assess any problems that may come up with guests in 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm here for any questions you guys have, and hope we get approval.
All right. Any questions for the applicant?
Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Nesbitt.
are they going to be able to park cars in the garage or?
Yes, sir. There is guest parking in the garage. There's no personal property in there.
Okay, so that would take
so-
it up to 4 parking spots.
Yeah. So, and we wouldn't want too many cars coming and going anyway. It's only a 3-bedroom with 6 guests. So hopefully people just carpool a little bit. So 2 cars in the garage, and then it is agreeable to the 2 in the driveway. And then I guess that they absolutely have to have that 1 parking spot in the street, but we try to avoid that. Just don't want anyone to get like sideswiped, it's always a liability for street parking, so.
Okay, no problems, but, I mean, you've done this before, all the things through staff?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions? All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
At this time, I will ask if anyone opposes to this case to go ahead and step forward. Anyone that opposes? Okay, please state your name and your address.
Jacob Potter, 5229 South Powell Avenue.
What would you like us to know?
Well, we have concerns, safety concerns. This is the only short-term rental that we know of in our neighborhood, and we're basically concerned with parking as well, and noise, out-of-state ownership, and just basically, public safety is our main concern.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else present that would like to speak in opposition? Hi, sir.
Howdy, Mike Potter, 5705 westbound 40 Highway. Got Potter's Camper Sales, I'm sure you might have seen it. Been in business for 50 years, lived in Independence all my life. I didn't care much for that neighborhood when they built it beside me because I'm in the county. We used to be country. Neighborhood come in, there's good people back here. We all stand up for each other. It's a neighborhood. We've all seen what happens in Independence. I growed up there. Rental property in neighborhoods doesn't help it. We all know what rental is, but an Airbnb, I thought that was designed for places where there were vacation homes and places where people could go stay in a house when they was seeing, sites of interest, but not in a residential neighborhood. We want to keep it a residential neighborhood. Houses are so high now that kids can't even get a start in them. Till the prices come down, we want to keep neighborhoods, so when the prices do come down, maybe our interest comes down, kids can get into a home and start a home and a family. I'm just saying, it's true. I'm speaking from the heart, guys. And besides that, there's no fence on the back of the property. What's to keep people nowadays? Because we just seen it happen in Lee Summit. You see it happen all over. Certain people take advantage of certain people. There seems to be no laws or people making people mind anymore. So I don't want no party animals in my backyard. And that's my backyard. Thank you for your time. I hope you appreciate what I said
Thank you,
from the
sir.
heart.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to speak in opposition? All right. Anyone that'd like to speak in favor of this case? Anyone to speak in favor? All right, I'm going to go ahead and invite the applicant back up to address any of the concerns that you heard.
Hello again. As far as noise, you all know that it is mandatory to install a noise monitor device inside the property. The homeowners have went ahead and actually installed one outside the property as well in the backyard. They also have at least 4 exterior cameras to monitor the property themselves because, as I said before, this is their second home that they're going to be staying in regularly, and they want to make sure it's well kept and it is not a party house.
What kind of plans have you made to ensure that parties are not held there?
We always send guests house rules that there is hefty fines, and even we can kick them out if they break the party rule of having more than the maximum occupancy of guests. If our noise monitor is going off continuously and they don't turn their music down or whatever it is, or with those exterior cameras, we can monitor, again, how many people are in the house or if there's an excessive amount of cars. So we do have those safeguards in place to make sure that the property is protected and the neighborhood as well.
Anything else you'd like us to hear?
not that I can think of, but if you have any questions, I'm
All
happy to
right.
answer them.
Commissioners, any additional questions?
Yes, I do.
All right, Commissioner.
What's your procedure when the guests show up at the house? Do you meet them, or one of your staff meet them at the house?
We do not meet them at the house. We give them a custom code to access the property, and we make sure that they checked in okay, but we do not meet them at the house. They can access the property by themselves.
Okay. And the cameras are the homeowners, so the only thing that you have would be the noise monitor.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What happens if you're not available within that 45 minutes to an hour?
We have over 8 full-time employees, and I personally also live here in Independence, so that is, I would say, out of the realm of possibility that we wouldn't be able to handle that.
Are you aware of any conversations the homeowners have had with their neighbors?
I am not aware of any, no.
Okay. Any additional questions?
Yes, I just remembered it.
All right,
An
go ahead,
additional
Commissioner.
question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how this works because I don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
So if the noise monitor goes off, what, you got an app on the phone, or how do
Yes,
you know?
sir. Yeah, we have notifications. It's set to 50 decimals, so if it is continuous, more than 5 minutes of that, then we do receive a notification and we contact the guests immediately and ask them to quiet down.
So the app sends you the notification, or is that how that goes?
Yeah, yep.
And
It's set to send, I get a beep on my phone. I've only had it happen once with multiple properties, but, yeah.
well, I don't know about your phone. My phone's not always reliable. I don't always
Well-
get notifications. So
I'm addicted to my phone, and so are some of the business owner that manages Bear B&B. He also has access to that, and this is his full-time business and his reputation on the line. So if there was some reason that Airbnb started getting shut down, we would all lose our jobs. I would lose my job. So we wouldn't want that to happen.
Really,
Yeah.
I really
But
didn't
okay,
mean
so
to
as
go
far
that
as
far.
it
I just-
notifies multiple people, including myself, if that noise monitor is going off, and I always have my notifications set on. I also have a personal rental as well, so I don't sleep. So
Well,
sorry
okay.
if that's
So you-
getting off
so-
track, but
So in other words, you're always close to your phone.
correct,
Okay, and
Yeah, and if
then
it's
you
not me,
have
it's someone
other
else.
staff members that also have.
correct. If
So
it's not me, it's
just
someone
relying
else.
on one person.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
All right, any additional questions? All right, thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and close this public hearing.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner O'Neill.
I move for approval on that, on case number 26-400-63.
Right, I have a first
Second.
and I have 2 seconds. All right, I will call for the vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes,
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes,
Commissioner Torres,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Chair Wiley.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0 for case number 26-463, short-term rental. I just encourage the owner and you to maybe make some. Build a fence, that would be perfect. All right,
what was that?
I don't know. I encourage the homeowner and the agency to reach out to those neighbors. All right, our next case is case number 26-200-01, a special use permit.
No, it's 03.
Oh, excuse me, 03. Yes, special use permit.
Alrighty. This is case number 26-20003, an application for special use permit approval for,
Gabe, anyone having private conversations or additional conversations, please step out. All right, go ahead and continue, Gabe.
yeah, absolutely. This is case 26-20003, an application for special use permit approval, the expansion of an existing car rental agency located on Nolan Road. Here's a notification area map as required by city code. A zoning district map for the subject site and the surrounding properties shows that properties to the east are zoned residential of the Stewart Heights subdivision. And the surrounding zoning district classifications and land use are commercial in nature and a mix of land uses, including a retirement home to the north, as well as some financial services, business services, general retail, restaurants, offices, and so forth. So a variety of zoning districts along the Nolan Road commercial corridor. The subject property is an irregular shaped parcel of land, a second tier lot from Nolan Road. There's a paved access drive along the western property boundary that provides access to restaurants and offices and other uses located behind those first tier lots along the Nolan Road frontage. There is an existing natural berm along the eastern property boundary, and photos of the property should show that a little later in the presentation. So here are the existing conditions of the subject site. So the subject site consists of, a paved parking lot in the southern half of the tract and a grassy field in the northern half. The proposal is to use the existing paved parking lot to expand the operations of the car rental agency located to the south. In the picture here, you can see the berm located along the eastern property boundary, so that abuts the residential subdivision to the east. Here are some additional pictures of the property showing the access easements and driveways. So south facing leads you to 37th Street. West facing is access to Nolan Road. And looking generally to the northwest, you can see the rear of the commercial building. There's a restaurant, general retail, business services to the northwest, and another access drive leading to Nolan Road. Here is a site plan for the proposed use of the property, showing the existing paved area used to park overflow rental cars from the agency. And again, those cross-access easements are shown on the site plan. So you have access from the south, and you have access going to the west to Nolan Road as well. The applicant has provided a landscape plan to complement the existing berm along the eastern property line. City code requires landscape buffers from any residential properties to a commercial property to deter any negative impacts of the commercial use. Staff does recommend approval of the special use permit request. And if you have any questions related to those recommendations, please feel free.
All right, thank you very much. All right, commissioners, any questions?
Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Nesbitt.
on that berm, aren't they supposed to have a fence also, or?
The landscape code does not require specifically an opaque fence. So you can have a combination of multiple types of screening. So, and a berm is specifically listed in one of those methods of screening.
My other question is going to be, I'm kind of confused because that's not directly behind 3601, or is it 3601 considered the whole strip mall?
So the street address for the strip mall is 3601 South Nolan Road. However, the parcel behind the strip mall has a situs address assigned to it. So the tract itself has an address assigned to it of 3601 South Nolan Road. But there is some duplication between the street addresses and the situs address of the parcel.
'Cause I mean, we're saying it's going next to the Dollar General, correct?
So it will be located,
Well, the parking's not directly behind what I'm thinking, not unless I'm wrong where the business is at. Guess I don't know where the business is inside there. That strip mall.
the businesses inside the strip mall. There is a restaurant at the northern tenant space. That's at Jimmy John's, and there's a drive-through.
Right, okay.
And then there's some general retail in the strip center. And I would have to take a look at the specific business licenses associated with the strip mall. And I'm more than happy to do that.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious. I mean, I'm trying to figure out where the business is. I mean, if it's directly behind the business, I can follow that being that. But if the business is on up, but I mean, if the Jimmy John's is staying, I don't know which one's going out. That's why I don't know which business they're taking over.
Oh, they're not taking over any of the businesses in the strip mall. So their location is located
Oh,
one block to the south at 37th Street and Nolan Road. So it's the southeast corner of 37th Street and Nolan Road. This lot is simply for overflow parking
that's just strictly for parking.
for their car rental agency located.
So you're talking the Avis car rental then? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, well, I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, so it's still not directly behind at all. It's, okay,
That's correct, yeah. But there is an access easement that provides Avis access from their commercial space at 37th and Nolan Road behind this strip center.
who made an access easement?
That was recorded. I'm not certain what date that would have been, but it's for the use of the commercial businesses in that corridor.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
Gabe, can I ask you, do you know the lighting situation back there?
To my knowledge, there are no overhead or exterior lights at that lot.
Do you know if they plan to do that for security?
That has not been indicated to me as a part of this application. So that would be a good question for the applicant.
If they were in the future, would they have to apply for that, or is that something that they could just do?
They would have to apply for a permit. So we'd have to figure out where the electrical is coming from and ensure there's not going to be any bleed over into the residential subdivision to the east.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any additional questions for staff? All right, I'm going to invite the applicant forward.
Evening. My name is Bill Moore. I'm an attorney with Rouse Fretz White Goss Law Firm located in Kansas City, Missouri, here on behalf of the applicant, the owner of the property, who is Marshall Blount. Mr. Blount is here tonight also and could answer any questions that you may have regarding this. Let me give you a little bit of history of kind of why we're here. I think as Commissioner Nesbitt pointed out, it's for the benefit of one of his, Mr. Blount's tenants, which is Avis Car Rental Agency. They're doing well. It's a very successful car rental business, and so successful that the city codes people have been coming out and telling them that they have too many cars parked on that little postage stamp where their Avis rental office is. And so they, Avis approached Mr. Blount, who started searching for some locations for some additional property that he might be able to accommodate his tenant. He found this piece of property. This is a piece of property that at one point probably had a purpose. I don't know that anybody can tell us what that purpose was back then. If you know, there's that office building, that larger office building immediately to the south, and they had their parking lot. We suspect that at one time maybe they had a need for overflow parking for their office building, and so hence they paved a portion of the lot that you saw in the video. So no longer needed. It was there. It's actually it's an eyesore right now. If you probably haven't seen through the video, but there's been evidence of homeless encampments on the property. That was before Mr. Blount acquired it. He just recently acquired it. And so part of what we're proposing to do is provide this limited area for the Avis company to have overflow parking for their vehicles that they are renting. And as you all know, if you've all rented vehicles, you come in and you pick up a vehicle and drive off. Well, the point here is to keep their rental vehicles, keep some of them up there, and then the staff would, on whatever basis, occasionally go get vehicles and bring them down to the rental office. And as it was mentioned, there's access to this piece of property. There's actually 3 easements that are available to provide out ingress and egress. 2 of them go directly to Nolan Road. 1 goes down to 37th Street, I guess, through the existing parking lot of the office building. So that kind of gives you the background. So Mr. Blount he's acquired it. His intent is, again, as you saw and you saw on the site plan, the intent is to put the berm up behind it. There's quite an elevation difference from where this parking lot is and where the residential properties are behind it, and then another elevation change going down towards Nolan Road. It's an incline. So the intent is to take that area that's kind of in outline, that would be dedicated for the Avis rental vehicles. He would put some lighting in, some security lighting that would be designed to provide security to the rental cars that are being stored there, but not interfere in it adversely with anyone else. He'll be doing all the other things that are required under the conditions of the special use permit. So that's kind of the simple story. Again, Mr. Blount is here, and if you have any questions, we can certainly call him up, and he can answer your questions for you.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Moore?
Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, so does he plan on re-asphalting it or cleaning it up and restriping it? Is that the plan? Then he's gonna put lights probably from the building shining backwards, looks like towards the residents?
No. Disregard the buildings, because he doesn't own those buildings. So that lighting's not gonna come from buildings towards the parking area. The lighting will be installed on the parking area, just like you would see in any other parking lot, right? You'd have lights that shine down.
Okay. Now.
He'll do the striping, he'll be doing some paving, right.
Okay, go back to the other picture, Gabe. That one there. Because, I mean, we got power poles there. I'm sure he's going to be getting the power from those power poles in, so they'll put a meter in there. So we're probably talking two or three light poles in the middle is what we're talking.
I'm going to defer to Mr. Blount on that.
Okay. Because, I mean, like I say, we do have trees that are already there that are grown. Are we going to be touching those trees, or do we know yet?
If the trees are healthy, the trees are staying.
Okay. Cause I mean, that's a good buffer already. It's built in
Correct.
there. That's why I was trying to figure out what we're gonna do on buffer. Maybe I need a little bit more information on the buffer, cause we do got the residents behind that we need to take care of.
Right, and that's why I think it was decided that the trees that are there that are healthy would remain. I think there's at least one tree there that's not so healthy. That's gonna, if it hasn't already been removed, that'll come out. But the trees along the backside between where the vehicles would be stored and the residents, those would remain as part of the buffer. And then he's gonna provide this other landscaping. You had mentioned about the fence. Again, just kind of an interesting little factoid here. The lot line for the property that we're asking for the special use permit actually is up on the upper level where the, at the level where the residential properties are. I think almost every one of those properties has a chain link fence up there already.
Okay.
So again, the buffer is kind of a combination, right? It's this natural buffer of probably, I'm gonna guess 5 feet, elevation change, maybe greater.
Right.
And then some additional landscaping.
Okay. The only thing that I would ask and then staff to look at, I know you want to put lights up there for lighting, but I'd ask that the lights go back towards the buffer and then shine towards Nolan Road instead of shine back towards the
Yes.
residents. That way we make sure the lighting is staying away from the residents.
Right, I'm certain that the lighting's not gonna be up on that second tier. It would be down on the pavement
Be
area.
on the pavement, but I'm asking that it be put back that way and shining towards Nolan Road instead of shining towards the residents.
Absolutely, that can be done.
Commissioner Nesbitt, are you wanting to add that as a recommendation?
I don't know if we can because we're not even looking at lighting. We're just doing the
True.
zoning. The lighting's
That's true.
gonna have to come from the staff. I'm just asking that the staff
So-
look into that.
For special use permit applications, the planning commission does have the authority to add additional conditions for approval. So if you would like to make that a part of your motion.
Well, let's see what the applicant has to say and we'll go from there.
Okay,
Bill,
yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Commissioner, go ahead.
So I just want to be sure, because it looks like all you're really doing is resurfacing the lot that's already there, correct?
That's correct.
So the lawn stays, everything else
Right,
stays.
right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and again, when this all started, we were kind of hoping that all we'd have to do is go to the city and get a permit, do whatever we needed to do to, establish the parking lot. But because of the regulations, that it was going to be a kind of an off-site parking area for an existing business, we got lumped into the special use permit. Would you like to hear from Mr. Blount?
I would.
Can I ask Madam Chair, can I ask a question to staff?
Yes, go ahead.
It's kind of odd, really, but not my question, but the situation. So now that they have this parking lot that's not a part
Anything else?
of anything else, did you do any water retention studies? Are they okay with that? Were the existing okay or not?
I can answer that question. So this is an existing lot, and so unless they were to make some kind of building permit or something, then that would be the only thing that would kick in any type of stormwater detention requirements. Keep in mind that the applicant would still have to provide a building permit for any kind of lighting, and that lighting would have to meet our lighting specification for parking lots, and so we would have to make sure that the lumens, et cetera, don't exceed or bleed onto residential properties, so.
Okay, thank you, Rick. I appreciate that.
All right. Sir, I think we've heard it suggested that lighting is an important piece of this.
Okay.
So what are you thinking, and are you okay with the recommendation that may come along with some more conversations with the city?
With regard to the lighting?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to provide some lighting back there.
Any thoughts on how many poles you would need?
I don't really know what the requirement is, but I want to make sure that my tenants' cars are safe and that my neighbors aren't kept awake at night.
Okay. Sounds like a nice compromise. Yes, Commissioner Nesbitt.
Do you know if they're gonna put security cameras?
You know, we haven't gotten that far.
Okay.
When I acquired the property, my hope was that the traffic would kind of keep the troublemakers at bay. And I don't know what to expect there. So we are open to the idea of fencing and certainly cameras and lighting.
Okay, because I mean, I know there is traffic flow through there because I've parked up there to go to eat the restaurants down there. So I know there's traffic flow up there, and to my knowledge, you cannot put any fences up there then for that, could you, to close off that whole property?
Well, not to close off the whole property, and I haven't explored it other than to get a couple of quotes for what it might cost to put a fence around the specific parking.
Okay,
That-
the drive
that's
lane
down
would
the-
stay open.
Oh, yeah, drive lanes would stay open.
Okay.
In fact, the parking that we're talking about is only on the back, the eastern half. If you see the striped parking, there's a square box that grabs 2 rows of that parking.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, at this time, I will invite anyone who wants to speak in opposition to this case to come forward. Anyone who would like to speak in opposition? Seeing none. Anyone who would like to speak in favor of this case? Anyone who'd like to speak in favor? All right, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner.
I'd like to move approval of case 26-200-03, special use permit at 3601 South Millen Road. And I think it'd be appropriate to, even though you're going to do it, that we would like to see a lighting plan. Or a lighting plan be implemented.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I would think, yes. I second that.
So we have a first and a second to add a recommendation regarding a lighting plan. Any discussion, staff? Excuse me, commissioners? All right. Do you need help with the writing of the motion? Okay. So we now have added another recommendation. I'm going to go ahead.
Well,
and-
just make sure that we're making this recommendation that the lighting plan's got to be scheduled on there before they can move forward to get the special use permits, what we're saying.
Madam Chair. I'd
Yes,
like to
Commissioner O'Neill.
I'd like to ask staff, you mentioned earlier that we already have ordinances regarding light for this situation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So why are we adding this additional amendment to this?
So I want to make sure that they do put lights up when they put before they put cars back there, because there is no lights back there. That way, it just helps defer problems in the future.
Staff, is that required?
So site lighting is not a requirement for a commercial space or commercial development. When site lighting is provided, it must comply with the city code regulations pertaining to the fixtures. So as discussed prior, full shield fixtures to direct the light downward instead of perpendicular or outwards to other abutting residential properties. And as discussed previously, spillover light limitations to residential properties. So when it is provided, it is required to be in compliance with city code. However, no strict requirement for a commercial development to provide site lighting is in city code.
That's why we're recommending that this be done. That way it helps defer any problems in the future, because there'll be lights back there for people to be seen.
Okay, any additional questions? All right, we have a first and a second. I'm going to go ahead and call for that vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
No.
Chair Wiley.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-1.
Chair, I make a motion to approve case 26-200-03, special use permit.
All right, Any final questions? We have a motion
A second.
and a second. Case number, I will go ahead and call for that vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Chair Wiley.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0 for case number 26-200-03. All right. Our new ordered case number 3 would be case 26-100-05. It is for rezoning on 40 Highway. Which staff member is? All right.
Okay, there we go.
Alrighty. This is case 26-10005, an application for a request to rezone the property at 16523 East US 40 Highway from its dual zoning district classification R6 and C2 to a unified zoning district classification C2 general commercial. The property is located along US 40 Highway, just east of Lee Summit Road and Southern Independence. Here's a notification area map as required by city code. And a zoning district map of the subject site and the surrounding properties shows the subject site currently has a dual zoning district classification. The northern region of the property is zone C2 or general commercial, and the southern portion of the property is currently zoned R6 or single family residential. To the west of the subject site is a gas station zoned C2. South of the subject site are low-density residential homes. East of the site is a similar zoning district classification and includes a cell tower and public or civic use. And north of the subject site across US 40 Highway is a combination of a school, general retail store, and restaurants. Here's an aerial image of the proposed, or excuse me, the site subject to the rezoning request. The site is comprised of approximately 6.5 acres, or 6.25 acres, excuse me. There is a total of 3 existing buildings. The site is residential in character, and the residential dwelling on the site is characterized by bungalow-style architecture. And then there is an existing driveway from US 40 Highway. However, the majority of the site is undeveloped. The applicant has provided a site plan as part of their request. This site plan includes the addition of a parking lot and the existing 3 buildings. The rezoning request consists of an adaptive reuse of a residential property for the applicant's proposed Culinary Arts Institute and trade school. It's a street level image of the front facade of the residential dwelling. And street level imagery along 40 Highway looking east towards the public and civic use and looking west towards the gas station and restaurants. Staff recommends approval of this rezoning, and no conditions for approval are included with the rezoning request.
All right, thank you very much. I would ask for the commission if you have any questions for staff. Anyone? All right. Is the applicant in the room? Yes, ma'am. All right, go ahead and come forward. Tell us about your cooking school.
Okay. My name is Sabrina Johnson. Before you need my address?
Yes, please.
Yes, it's 7211 Marion Avenue, and that's Kansas City, Missouri, 64133. This is really a labor of love for me. The property is, I'm sure you all remember, right next door was Stevenson's Apple Farm. And as a child, coming from the inner city, you know, it was a big deal for my mom to take us there, right? And it established memories for me, right? I have over 25 years of experience in corporate America doing IT development and project development. And, but my labor of love is I always love to cook and to teach. And so my son, who played for Mizzou, allowed me the opportunity to retire once he was drafted to the NFL. So once he did that, it allowed me to start my catering company, and I started an endeavor into urban farming, growing organic food, and things of that nature. And so when I was looking for a place to do this, and I saw that Mr. Knapp had put his property up for sale, I just got so excited because it brought about the memories of the Stevenson's Apple Farm. And Mr. Knapp was an older gentleman. It had become very overgrown. It needed a lot of love. And so, but I could see the vision of having the Culinary Institute. I'm the culinary, and the collective is a lot of business individuals like myself who are retired who want to give back to the community. And too much is given, too much is required, right? And in the state of the environment right now, people need help. People need help in retooling themselves. They need access to food. 15% of children in Missouri are food insecure. And then health and wellness. And so what we were trying to do, the project is called the Provenance, which is the beginning. And we have the school, the trade school there where we will teach construction, HVAC, and also I would teach culinary on the campus. These are AI resistant jobs. So we're training the workforce of the future. We're also going to be able, because it's such a big property, then we're able to do some urban farming in which we can grow organic products, have a site. I've been talking to REAP, Urban Product Push, Canby's, other organizations where we could partner, where individuals can come to the site and get produce. Not everybody can afford Whole Foods or Sprouts, right? But to be able to have a place that is central to Kansas City, Independence, Lee Summit, Blue Springs, not everyone has a car. Can they travel downtown to the market? So if we're able to bring that there and people have access to food, that's our goal. And so starting first, because it's a big dream, I have to start with the engine. And the engine is the school, the event space, and potentially the restaurant, which will be student-led, to self-sustain our project so that we don't have to, like we know we have money coming in that will pay our bills and allow us to reinvest in the community to have phase two, which is our community-supported agriculture. So that's my dream. It's a big dream, but I hope that when we started, it was a bit overgrown, but I plan to make that corner beautiful. And I promise to be a good steward of the property, good steward of the land, and not to put up any abstract buildings or apartments or anything like that. It's going to be a place where you can come and reset yourself and be a part of nature again. We'll have classes, cooking classes, retreats, camping. I've already been talking to some of the directors with the school district about the kids coming in and things like that. So it's a big plan. We have a project plan. I'm not doing this alone. I have a board of 10 people who are professionals in finance, real estate, educators, community development, all of these people that will help me bring this vision to life.
Okay,
Any questions?
great. Any questions for our applicant?
Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Nesbitt.
Okay, so on your first plat you sent here, I see you plan on first building a restaurant with a parking and all that stuff, correct?
Yes, we're required to do any type of commercial if it's done per my meetings with zoning. We're required to do a parking lot.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. My biggest question is, and we see this a lot, I know you got a nice dream. And do you have the financial backing to get this dream going, or is it just start out small and we're just going to wait years till?
Oh, no. Oh, no. We've already invested. Well, I personally
Okay, well,
invested.
no, I'm not worried about how much you
Yeah.
invested. I just want, you own
Yeah.
the property or the
I-
corporation owns the property then?
Yeah, well, I'm the corporation.
Okay.
We own the property.
Okay.
I
Well, I mean, I
have,
love somebody come,
Yeah.
new dream and all that stuff. I'd love that. I mean, because that land's been sitting there vacant now probably for a good 20 years, I'm thinking.
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, yes, I love
And I
it.
do have funding. I have investments. I have a bank right now ready for me to get this.
So you're ready
I'm
to
ready to
go
go.
once we get you on the books. get
Yes,
you
sir.
going.
I am ready to go.
Okay, I look forward to this because, I mean, it sounds great. I don't know what kind of food you're going to have.
It's going to be the best food you could taste. Next meeting, I'll cater it. I'll bring it up here. I mean, we're going to have some farm to table, some healthy, selections and things like that. But we'll also have some home down, really good food.
Okay. My only other question I have, I know it's a big wide open area. Do you know if there's any homeless back in there? Because it is kind of bad.
Yeah, so if you saw the picture, there's like all these little trails all the way
Uh-huh.
through there. And so the great thing is that one of my board members donated a golf cart. And so we always go through and look at the property and we notice to the west in the back along the Quick Trip line,
Uh-huh.
there were some camps, not on our side, but on the Quick Trip side, that has been covered by the brush.
Right.
And so we have, they're not currently there now, but they've left tons of debris and things back there that
But you
we're,
guys will take care of all that stuff.
yeah, we've been cleaning up the whole line on that side.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a nice sized lot. I mean, that'd be
Yeah.
great. I mean, I'm all for it. I just want to make sure you had the funding to get going. I hate people come and make all these plans and then it sits there for years and
Oh, no.
nothing happens. So,
No, this is it for me.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, any additional questions for our applicant? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, I will ask anyone who's in opposition of this case to please step forward. Anyone who's in opposition? Okay, anyone who wants to speak in favor of this case? Anyone to speak in favor? All right,
Hello.
hi
I'm
there, state your name and your address.
Shane Ray, 7211 Marion Ave, Kansas City, Missouri, 64133.
What would you like us to hear?
This is my mom. Sorry, I got my beautiful daughters here as well. I was a student athlete at the University of Missouri. Was able to be drafted to the NFL, make a lot of money, and able to actually make plans with my mom to give back to people in the community. I just want to let you guys know that for us, this is something that she stays up all night working for. She invests all of her time, all of her focus. You know, my story is my story and what I've been able to do in the community and give back. But what she's trying to do and with my assistance is, I really and truly think is something incredible. It's something that I think will be a beacon in that area, something that looks very well, something that's well put together, and will also give people the opportunity to create jobs for themselves and educate people. I'm just here to back my mom up and, you know, hope you guys will approve this. I really think it's something excellent, and thank you.
Thank you very much. You're a good son. Anyone else who'd like to speak in favor? Anyone else? Not seeing any, I'm going to close the public hearing.
Chair,
Yes, Commissioner.
I make a motion, we approve case 26-100-05, rezoning 16523 East US 40 Highway.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Any further discussion? All right, I will call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Chair Wiley.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0 for case number 26-105. Congratulations. I think we're all excited to see what you do. All right, we are going to move over to our new case 4, which is case number 2612501, which is a rezoning, excuse me, PUD on US Highway 24.
Alrighty. This is case 26-12503, an application for approval of a rezoning and planned unit development for the property located at 20691 East US 24 Highway. The property is located at the intersection of Little Blue Parkway and US 24 Highway, generally northeast Independence. Here's a notification area map as required by city code. And a area zoning map of the subject site and the surrounding properties shows that the surrounding zoning district classifications predominantly consist of residential zoning classifications. To the east of the subject site consists of low-density residential properties. To the south is tract of vacant land. To the west is an existing single-family subdivision. That'd be the Blue Mills subdivision. And to the north of the subject site is that US 24 highway. The site consists of approximately 34.5 acres. It's in close proximity, again, to the intersection of Little Blue Parkway and US 24 highway. And just to reiterate, established suburban neighborhoods exist to the west, and rural agricultural and undeveloped land to the south and east. There's a street level imagery along Little Blue Parkway going northbound, around the curve, and southbound. And some pictures of the existing conditions of the property. Shows that the property consists of a rolling terrain with a westerly aspect. Here is the preliminary development plan consisting of a total of 196 lots. Property line of the proposed development. This preliminary development plan is for lots that are smaller than what is conventionally permitted under the development code, as opposed to the standard 7,000 square foot lot size. The proposed plan, the average lot size in the proposed plan, is approximately 4,100 square feet. The applicant has provided amenities as a part of their preliminary development plan. In the northern corner of the property, community garden is provided, as well as a leg of a walking trail and a bench area. In the southwest corner of the property, a sport field and playground, along with another portion of the walking trail. as part of the preliminary development plan, landscaping is required. So a few excerpts from the preliminary development plan shows a monument sign at the entrance off of Little Blue Parkway, along with a landscaped area, street tree plantings throughout the subdivision, and a buffer along Little Blue Parkway from the rear yards of those first-tier lots. The applicant has provided elevations for the proposed planned unit development, and here's 3 of those elevation examples that they've provided. But there's about a dozen elevations in the packet in the agenda for tonight's meeting. Staff does recommend approval of the rezoning and preliminary development plan request with the conditions outlined in the staff report and up on the slide. And that concludes my presentation.
All right, thank you very much, staff. I appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and start with the question, maybe more of a statement. I really appreciate you working with a developer who is trying to address the housing needs in our community. Are you seeing other communities like this start popping up? And I know you approved the recommendation, but how comfortable are you with the smaller lot size, the distance between the homes? Can you give a little more on that particularly?
Yeah, absolutely. City staff did review some other subdivisions in the surrounding metropolitan area. There's one in Independence that was approved about 10 years ago. Newtown at Harmony is a planned unit development out on Truman Road that features lots that are smaller in size. The lots in the Newtown at Harmony subdivision are smaller than the proposed lots of this subdivision. So those would be closer to like 30-foot wide at minimum, and these would be 40 feet wide. There's another subdivision that city staff looked at in Grain Valley. The name of it is failing to come to me. However, that subdivision also features smaller lots than what's proposed here as well. So in those subdivisions, they were developed, or are still in development, and city staff are confident that this proposed planned unit development can be, meet all the city's engineering standards, building code requirements, design standards, the development code. So.
Thank you very much. All right, any additional questions for staff?
Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Nesbitt.
Okay, so the houses, I know what you're talking about is Harmony Heights. They had access to the rear for their garages and parking, and I don't think any frontal parking on the streets. What I'm looking at here, you said it's got a 20-foot setback from right-of-way, or is it 20-foot setback from the street for the house? What's that?
So, we actually, city staff discussed this, and we thought of you, Commissioner Nesbitt. So the setback is from the right-of-way line, so that's excluding any sidewalks or driveway approaches, and city staff felt the 20-foot setback could comfortably fit any modern vehicles as opposed to the 15-foot setback.
Okay. Now, the other place you're talking about out in Grandview, they're mainly all rentals. I want to make sure we're not doing any rental things, correct?
I may defer to my supervisor here, Rick.
Okay.
So from what the applicant has expressed for this project, I believe they intend to have a owner occupied for these.
Okay. How's the Harmony Heights going? Did they ever finish any more phases of theirs?
I'd have to look at the additional phases, but it may still be in development.
Because, that's been going on now for 15 years? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Question.
Yes, Commissioner.
How is the HOA that's gonna come in here or be organized, how are they gonna keep people from renting that out?
So with any single-family development, I mean, long-term rentals are something that would be allowed. So somebody would be able to, at some point, rent a house. Now, I know some HOAs may put into their covenants that somebody has to own that property for 2 or 3 years before they're allowed to rent it. But that is, not something that we can necessarily prevent entirely. That, at some point, a single-family house could be rented long-term. Now, if it were to ever be like a short-term rental, they would, of course, have to come here before this commission.
So does the HOA have the right to do that?
I've seen it done before where they'll basically put in their, and again, not necessarily speaking for this one, but I have seen HOAs put in that property owners that buy a house have to be in there and live in it for several years before they're allowed to rent it. So as far as the legalities of that, I'm probably not the best person to answer that, but.
What about the guy next to you?
HOAs can put in just about whatever they want,
Yeah.
but it's up to them to enforce it.
Okay,
And that's where they run into some difficulties.
sure. That's what I figured. Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions? All right, I'm going to invite the developer or applicant up. Please state your name and your residential address.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Brian Ron, 1000 Northwest High Point Drive, Lee Summit, Missouri. I'm here for the applicant this evening, Midwest National Holdings, and we are part of Ward Development. And we have our building partner here this evening as well, which we're working with Summit Homes on this particular project. We're excited about the project, and as was mentioned earlier, we've worked really, really hard going through this to, from the ground up, create a product that can address housing needs that, has been a real struggle. So, as we've been looking at this project, not just the land, we've also looked at the architecture, we've looked at a lot of different things to be able to bring home ownership, where it hasn't been available before. We are looking at being able to have a beautiful community at under $300,000. That's been very, very difficult to be attainable, in this area. And, when I look at what's out there, you either have a choice. You have, you can go into a multifamily type situation. You can go into an existing home, and there are some beautiful existing neighborhoods in the area, but there's very little as far as new communities that would be anywhere near this. So the thing that makes this possible is, us as a developer, we're a very strong developer. We've been in this area, for over 50 years. We've developed thousands of lots. We're working with a building partner that has the ability to, bring a product that's not just, as was mentioned, we submitted, 12 different elevations. That wasn't all of them. A lot has gone in this, so there's a lot of variety. There's a lot of opportunity there. Now, part of the magic of this is, the footprint of the home, all right, it is designed that we can do a lot with, an individual footprint that matches through the community. So we're doing things to bring the cost down. When we looked at, what are we gonna do as far as amenities in the community? We wanted to have, things very outdoor active driven. So as we look through a presentation we had this evening, in addition to, just sidewalks and stuff like that, we put in trails, and then we did a mile perimeter project where there's different fitness stations, active fitness stations, for people as they go through the community. We have an area where, it's just a field. Well, sometimes you just need a place to go throw a ball. All right. So we've gone through, and looked at what we do. Now, could we, at the price point that we're hoping to bring attainable homes in, could we do large clubhouses and could we do swimming pools and all those things? No, we couldn't, but we still wanted those active outdoor amenities, and we didn't want a community that didn't have, features that made it attractive. The area is beautiful. The community that we've designed, we feel is beautiful. We've come up with architecture that we feel is going to not only, complement the area that's already there, it's going to help that area to become even better. So, as we go through this evening, I'll answer any questions. We're excited about it, and we're hoping that you will be too. Do you want to play? How do I play? All right. So, just a small presentation that we put together. This is what we're envisioning a street view being. As we mentioned, these homes all have 2-car garages. They have traditional architecture. This is one of our fitness pods that we mentioned. So as we go through the community, we have 5 of these, and what we've envisioned is there'll be a, fitness apparatus, a bench. This is where we would like to put the mail. These are on a loop the whole way through the community. This is the layout. As mentioned, they are smaller lots, but we've decided, to really try to have as much open space as possible. Almost the entire west side of this subdivision is open space. Now, part of that land there, the triangle-shaped piece, belongs to the City of Independence, and that's existing stormwater management. We've incorporated that together with our project. When you're looking at this, and we're always looking at how do you buffer to other communities and stuff like that, almost none of this is directly in somebody's backyard. So you have green space, you have amenities, you have two lots there where the road connects, but we're not putting these homes, directly right into backyards. And that's a common thing that we deal with often. We've been able to do some things here to make an excellent layout for the community. As mentioned before, we have the trails, we have a lot of natural features. This is that loop that I mentioned with the 5 stations. As you go around, we have a 1-mile system that incorporates both the internal sidewalks, trails. There's also a playground there on the west side. And, the big part of this community that makes it really special, we feel, is the attainable aspect of it. We're going to get into, as we talk about that. Oh, there we go. The elevations were already brought up. It's not just that we've come up with different plans, there's different materials, colors, things to create unique opportunities in the neighborhood. You mentioned rentals, all right? Well, we are looking for a for-sale community. We want people to be able to have home ownership. The opportunity is not there, in most of the communities around. We mentioned us as a developer, Ward Development. We mentioned Summit. We're both very strong companies. We've done a lot of work in the Kansas City Metro, and we're able to bring this project through to completion. And with that, we appreciate your consideration of the project, and I'm here to answer any questions. And I have engineering staff, and I have Summit here as well to answer questions.
All right, thank you very much. I'll start with one question, and that is just, I saw 3 different examples. So I'm assuming economies to scale and to keep the budget, there will only be a few options of the housing.
No, actually, that's where we were discussing earlier. Like, we submitted 12 different elevations, the 12 different homes, and we actually have even more than that. Now, one of the things that's been exciting about this and working with our partner is the footprints are similar for each home. But earlier in the staff presentation, there's even a 3-story variety. So there's some things that we're doing to outside the box make these homes attainable, but we also did not want to just build boxes going down the street. So as you look at these, they have pitch roofs, they have porches, 2-car garages, there's variation in front, so there's a lot of things, a lot of thought has gone into trying to come up with a solution to this problem.
Any questions, commissioners?
Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Nesbitt.
So I'm looking at elevation 2. That's not over 45 feet? That's a 3-story?
So that one, I believe, if I remember correctly, is 37 feet, but I would have to look that up. But no, there is a maximum allowed, and I have discussed that with staff.
Okay. The only other question right off the top of my head that I know, it's just a preliminary, but I would like to see that walking trail cannot be taken away. Is that a mandatory thing for you guys, or is that something that's just in writing to make it look good right now?
No, we are intending to put the walking trail in, and as mentioned earlier, there is going to be an HOA on the property, and that is in a tract that, is owned by the HOA.
Okay. So if I look at this right, it's similar to the arbories down there, that what you guys are building, something close to looks like that, except you're going to have front entrances instead of back entrances.
Is that the Green Valley project?
No, that's the other one in Independence.
I'm not familiar with that particular.
The Green
project.
Valley one's the same way. They come in through the back. So
Yeah, so the one in Green Valley off Seymour there, I'm familiar with that, but no, this is going to be more traditional front entrance architecture.
okay. Now I have seen some other ones way out in Overland Park that had some real wild looking architecture. Are we going to do anything like that, maybe, to break them up, break the views? I mean, a couple of them do come in close to that, where they got 3 different pitches on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. They got some out there that look even worse than that, if you ask me. But I didn't know if that's anything in design too.
So, it's intended that we do have a variety of roof pitches and
Right.
designs there, but of the elevations that have been designed for this project, the bulk of them are very traditional, more of the 2 you see on the side. And we are anticipating, kind of scrolling back through here, that type
look
of
there.
street view right there is, what we're anticipating this neighborhood to look like.
Okay, then
There are ones that have variation, but the bulk of them are not what I would consider, non-traditional.
what about color codes?
The colors, there are some different colors there. For some of those questions, where's Aaron at? I'm doing, in this particular, we build homes as well, but in this one, we have a building partner, and they're gonna be the ones handling that, so I'd like to bring him up and introduce him.
All right. Were you sworn in, sir?
No, ma'am, was not.
Okay. If you would raise your right hand, do you promise to tell the truth to this planning commission tonight? If so, say I will.
I will.
All right, thank you. And then state your name and your home address.
My name is Aaron Young, 10450 Holmes Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri, 64130.
Okay, based on what you've heard, what do you want to share with us?
I am the Vice President of Development for Summit Homes. We're proud to partner with Board Development on Arbor Lynn. Summit Homes is, you'll notice on our logo, underneath the Summit logo, it says a Clayton Company, which we are a part of a national organization, but we're a local builder. We've been in the Kansas City area for 25 years, and being a part of communities is important to us. Being partners with the municipalities that we build in is important to us. The other thing that's very important to us is our mission to provide attainable housing. And to provide attainable housing in a way that fits the character of communities and fits the type of neighborhoods that places like Independence want to see. To speak directly to the question that brought me up here in terms of color, color codes, we would establish the homeowners association for the project. So the CCNRs would be created by us. We would manage the homeowners association until there were enough residents, enough lots had been sold in the community for the HOA to be self-sustaining. And there would be an architectural review committee as part of that HOA. And so the paint colors and door colors and architect, what elevations were chosen, those would all be reviewed by the architectural review committee that was part of the HOA. And the recommendations of that committee would be based entirely upon what's going to be approved by the city in terms of the elevations, the building styles, the architecture styles that are approved as part of this preliminary development plan. Those are going to be the guidelines that are going to be used by the Architectural Review Committee to approve home plans and colors in the neighborhood. To speak a little bit to your question about the variety of architecture, Brian mentioned earlier that we're talking about small lots, but we have a lot of not only different elevations, but different floor plans that we can provide that will fit on the same footprint. So, you could have a 3-bedroom, you could have a 2-bedroom, you could have a 2-story. We have a couple of ranch plans that are available. So the composition and character of the neighborhood, while it would be consistent from what we call a build box standpoint, we'll certainly have the ability to provide variety in terms of appearance and optionality for people that want to buy homes in the neighborhood in terms of what they want to have.
Question, are these slab homes or are they basements?
Our intent is to create as many slab buildable lots as we can, but it's ultimately the homeowner's choice as to whether or not they want a slab home. We will compact, we'll have compaction performed on the lots, but if a homeowner wants a basement, they'll get a basement.
Okay, well, I mean, but once you put a basement, the price probably goes up, correct?
It has a price impact, that's true.
So that's what I'm saying. So most of these are probably gonna be slab homes, and my next question is gonna be, we're in tornado place, how structural are these houses gonna be for tornadoes? Is there gonna be a safe room inside that will withstand a tornado, or is there not?
Until we know exactly what floor plans we're building, I can't give you an answer to that question.
Okay, because I mean, that's why I like to have basements, but I mean, okay. And then the color thing is that I don't like somebody going there and put in a pink house, so that's what I'm saying.
We don't want pink houses in our neighborhoods.
I know, but I mean,
We're on the same page.
and then my other question is gonna be, what kind of timeline are we looking at for phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3? Are we looking 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years?
We don't have a firm timeline established. Generally, if we open a phase of, say, 50 units, we would expect to sell through those 50 units in probably 18 months.
Okay.
So I would say under current absorption rates, we're about 150 lots, right? So
196.
So 200 lots, I would expect that to be probably a little under 5 years.
Okay, because I mean, we've had a lot of subdivisions come through here, get approved, and nothing happened, so that's why I like to know a time frame for looking at things.
Well, given the fact that we're obligated to buy the lots after they're developed, we are just as motivated to sell houses as you guys are, because if I don't sell it, I just have to sit there with it on my books.
Right, okay, well, thank you.
All right, any additional questions?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner.
What's your intent, if any, about backyard fencing, like open fencing or no fencing? Or?
We will give individual homeowners the option to build a fence. We won't require that they build a fence, but they will have that option. And we'll specify a range of materials that they can use. I can tell you that it certainly will not be chain link. But they'll most likely have a choice of fence materials, and like I said, they'll have the option to build a fence, but they won't necessarily be required to.
Okay, so this isn't like some other places where there's 0 lot lines. They do actually have property.
Correct. There are side yard setbacks, and there is separation between the homes.
And so, how far apart? What's the distance between property line to house to other house?
I believe it was 5 yard 5 foot side yard setbacks.
So the actual setbacks in the design on the plat are 3. The design is 5. So the anticipated minimum distance between homes would be 10 feet.
And we have they're 40, the minimum lot size is 40 feet. The product that we would be putting in there is a 30-foot wide product.
Okay, so there's, so it'd be 5 feet, 30 feet, 5 feet.
Correct.
And then the backyard depth is,
So on the backyards of these, I think most of the lots, I think the smallest ones are what, 105?
there was a 105, so
So that's approximately correct. So you have 20 feet from the property line, not the curb. And then, what is the build depth?
Generally, I think they're about 55 feet.
Okay, so you have 75, and so you have a little over 30. I think the rear setbacks on the plat are 20. But, I think the minimum based off the build box, you're probably 35.
okay, walk me through that again, because how far off the curb is the building line?
Well, off the curb is at 11 feet from back of curb to, what's the right of way?
Can you repeat that question?
So typically, back of curb to property line, is it 11 feet?
About 11 feet, that's correct, yeah.
So you have 31 feet from back of curb to the front of the home. Then you have, 30, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
55.
55. And then, when we say 105, that's not from back of curb, that's from property line. So it would be 105 minus 75. So
And-
you would have 30 feet to the rear property based off that build box on the smallest lots. We do have bigger lots.
Yeah.
But those are on the smaller ones.
And not to interrupt the applicant here, so city staff are reviewing the plat, just a little closer up view of it. So the smallest lots are 90 feet in depth with that 40-foot width at the frontage.
And is this site fairly level?
It is, so it is gently rolling. As mentioned, we are anticipating slab homes, so it's being graded, to anticipate that unless, foundation is requested. So, yes, this site does not have a lot of grade change.
So what are you gonna do with the water?
So in addition to the detention pond that's already there, that when it was originally put in, it was anticipated to pick up the water from this site. We actually have 4 more ponds that are going into this site.
Okay.
Okay, so the runoff for the house, the roof line, the roof, and the driveway. I guess the driveway goes in the street and it goes out to the basins. But what about, because, flat places close together,
Oh.
wet year, it could be kind of a mess. I mean,
So, this, whenever we put the subdivision in, we have our engineering, folks with us here tonight also. We do anticipate that each one of these is going to have a building pad. We have experience with, similar size side yard setbacks and things like that, like Meadow Creek and Belton, we did the same size setbacks. Those were on slabs as well. And, we have experience working with that. Here, it's not completely flat. And I can bring Richard up and he can speak to the grade a little bit more, but it's not completely flat. And we've put a lot of effort into, working with the stormwater, both for what's already there and what would be anticipated. Because although the lots are smaller, the footprint of this home is significantly smaller. So as far as the impervious coverage, we have a lot of green space, both on the lot and in the neighborhood.
Commissioner, would you like to have the engineer come forward?
if he's willing to.
Were you sworn in, sir?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Could you state your name and your local address?
Sure. It's Richard Michael with HG Consult. Address is 25604 Northeast Colburn Road, Lee Summit, Missouri, 64086.
Can you address the drainage?
Yeah. How long you guys want to be here? We can talk about drainage a lot. Yeah, so like Brian said, the ratio of the impervious coverage on the lot is really no different from a standard lot. It's just condensed, it's smaller. We have designed everything, it's called preliminary, but from an engineering standpoint, there's not much preliminary in what you're seeing today. There's been a lot of work for the design that's to get to this point. Multiple preliminary reviews with staff as well as official submittal reviews. So the grading for the site is pretty far along. There are a couple of side streets that were intentionally graded that are a little bit steeper, 5-6%, not steep by steep standards, but steep for this site. Most of the front-facing streets, though, we're trying to grade anywhere from 1 to 2%, and that's just because these buildings sit so close together. If you separate the finished floor elevation, you're looking at walls, and with 10-foot separation, there's not room for walls. So as far as stormwater runoff, I want as much water in the street as I can get, just because that's where the bulk of the storm sewer system is. So as you can see from the roof line, we're looking at least half of those buildings will shed to the front. Driveways slope to the street as well. It's not unlikely to think that roof drains can't be designed and connected and manifolded to the front as well. So for the rear yards, you're looking at typical just grass. And so back to backyard faces each other. It's not uncommon to have rear yard swales to catch that water in a series of field inlets and then connect into the overall storm sewer system. So if staff can confirm, we are fully compliant as far as the release rates go. That's part of the reason of the 4 extra detention basins. We've tried to build them with some character. So there's a series of wet and dry. Wet being more of a desired amenity, you can walk around it. So with the staging of those areas, a lot of that has to do with the existing topography of the site as well as what we're trying to do with the proposed grading.
So when you talk about a wet one, you're talking about something that might need an aerator?
Not necessarily. No, wet as in just it's wet, but not to the size that an aerator is.
It's not a pond.
It is pond by.
It's a pond every once in a while.
It's a pond, depending on what you want to call it. Yeah, it holds water, and it's meant to be wet until it perhaps isn't. I mean, if it's really dry, but by rule, you're supposed to have those 4 foot deep plus sediment accrual. So if I say it's wet, it probably is going to stay wet for a while if it gets built properly, which there's no reason to think it would.
Okay.
Any additional questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
This is going to be the staff. If this subdivisions go through, school district wise, are we good? For elementary, all that, that's the biggest thing probably.
So give us just one moment to consult on that and we'll get an answer for you.
I know it's nothing for you guys, but that's just something got to look at for the whole area. If it's got enough elementary, you're 196. I mean, that's probably a good another 200-300 kids. We're hoping.
We actually did look at that, and I reached out to the school district, and I gave them information on the project, and so they had the opportunity to know what we have coming, down the road here.
That's Fort Osage, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct. I contacted, I believe, Snodgrass, but he's retiring, and so I have not heard back.
Okay.
So I have nothing to add to
Okay,
that
so
answer.
we don't know if we have enough elementary wise to sustain a subdivision that size but that's going to be up to the Fort Osage School District, but I don't like to put burdens out there without somebody knowing something.
We would not be able to answer that question as to the capacity of the school district.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, is there anyone present who would like to speak in opposition of this case? All right, we will just start with the first person to come forward. State your name and your address, and let me know if you've not been sworn in.
I have been sworn in.
Yeah, I will just remind everybody, please state your case, but if somebody previously has said the same thing that you want to say, just acknowledge that you agree with them. And that way we will get through the individual conversations in a manner that's most expeditious. So, but please state your name and your address.
Lisa Stewart, 20313 East 16th Street North in 64056. I
Okay.
live in Blue Mills subdivision in the neighborhood, and I first want to say that I did not receive a letter that some of the other people are receiving. They sent it to the people that live on Milburn, which it runs parallel to this new neighborhood. The other people in the neighborhood did not get letters. We know this because we have a Facebook page in our neighborhood. And that's why I'm here, because I did not receive a letter, but I was told about it. I have a few concerns. I am retired from Fort Osage, worked there 25 years, recently retired. And I can say that the schools are very overcrowded. Every building, from elementary to middle school to high school, very overcrowded. They cannot sustain. The superintendent that they reached out to is now retired. And that's probably why nobody is here representing the schools. And I would hope that you would at least please speak with somebody at the schools before any of this is ever approved. Also, I have a very concern with the two entrances to this new neighborhood. I have a concern with an entrance coming off of Blue Mills neighborhood into this new neighborhood. For what, number one, what reason do they need a neighborhood entrance from our neighborhood to get to their neighborhood? That produces more traffic in our neighborhood. That produces more foot traffic, more car traffic, more noise. Timber Creek neighborhood, which is on the south of our neighborhood, City of Independence already approved several years ago for their neighborhood to connect to Blue Mills on the south side. So now we have all of their foot traffic and car traffic cutting through their neighborhood to get to our neighborhood to get to 24 Highway. And that's produced a lot of traffic in our neighborhood. I live on a relatively quiet street, quiet neighborhood, and I would like to know what street they plan on having that cut-through road, and for what reason do they even need a cut-through road? Why can't they have their own entrance off of Blue Parkway? It's going to be a completely separate neighborhood than ours. They don't need a separate entrance, and they're going to be their own community. They don't need to be attached to our community. Also, these homes, he was saying, was going to be in the $300,000 range. I do know with Jackson County, when they do the taxes, we have an older neighborhood in Blue Mills neighborhood. The taxes aren't, our houses aren't $300,000 homes. This being so close in proximity to our homes, this is going to raise our taxes in Blue Mills as well. We live there for a reason, and it keeps our taxes down. This will definitely raise our taxes, and I know this will happen for a fact. And I hope you guys would take all this into consideration with the 196 homes, with the schools. My major concern also is the cut-through road and the taxes and the more foot traffic that this is going to create on our neighborhood. I would appreciate those considerations. Thank you.
All right. Next person who would like to speak in opposition?
Ma'am, I was not sworn in the beginning.
Okay, but just raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth to this commission tonight? If so, say I do.
I do.
All right, go ahead.
My name is John Tanner, I live in 20305 East 17th Terrace North, Blue Mills neighborhood, about 6 houses down from where this fiasco we're talking about. Number one, I applaud the single-family homes that they're talking about. Number two, I mean, I think we all know how, we don't need to bring up the rental thing. That's already been brought up before. 3 things in, these guys coming here bragging about their track record. I work for the biggest construction company in this town, one of the biggest in the nation. Been a superintendent for them for 28 years, been in construction for 39 years. I've worked all over the United States. I know how things go. So 4th thing is, like the previous lady stated, they want to have this neighborhood, let them have it. I don't need the traffic that she talked about, the neighborhood she mentioned on the south side of us, that neighborhood has failed. I don't know the name of it. On the backside of Blue Mills connecting it, that neighborhood has failed. Houses are boarded up, kids have broken all the windows out of them. My wife's driving through there to go visit a friend. 3 men jump out of the bushes and surround her car, wanting her to stop and give them a ride. We don't need that from two sides. Fifth thing is that we talked about $300,000. We all know how economy is. And I don't know who's going to buy a $300,000 house. I have a 25-year-old kid that lives at home that makes good money, has 5 investment accounts, and he's still struggling to buy a house just with the current real estate market, which we don't have control over that, but that's just the world that we live in. I guess the last thing that I would say, these two guys aren't from here. 2 of them from Lee Summit, 1 from Kansas City. Don't let them insult your intelligence with, disguising profit as being disguised as care and concern about, 196 homes. They just come in here and they ask you to lower your minimum square footage by 43% so they can cram more houses in there. I seriously doubt that it's out of concern for the housing situation much as it is lining their pockets. I understand everybody's in business to make money. I don't have a problem with that, but let's just be honest about it. Why would they come in here and ask you to lower your minimum standard 43%? That's all I got. My wife retired from the school district, and she will tell you they overcrowded, doesn't even begin to touch it.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
I didn't swear in, but I say I do.
All right. Let's just make sure we're consistent. Please raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth to this commission tonight? If so, say I will.
I will.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Matthew Friel. I live at 20304 East 16th Street North, so I'm just across the street and up a little bit from Miss Stewart. Miss Stewart, 16th Street is where they're going to be dumping into to Blue Mills. So the comments I have, the composition and character of this development is not compatible with Blue Mills at all. The rough build date started in mid-1970s for Blue Mills. That subdivision consists of mainly single-family homes with, good old backyards, chain link fences, and no HOA. So putting that sort of community immediately adjacent to us is not a compatible build. The second issue I have is Little Blue at this location was designed to be off-ramps with a bridge going across 24 Highway that was going to continue on and eventually connect up with Front Street. I don't know where we are at in the build of that process, but where they are planning on dumping all of their folks out of the south into the subdivision is going to be right onto Blue Mills where those merging activities are going to occur. That is not safe. What that then in turn means is even more of those occupants of that subdivision are going to be dumped off into the street in front of my house. Now, within the last 5 years, we've had the city put in a stop sign at the intersection of 16th Street and Hanover, which has helped some of our traffic problems. We today have a lot of folks on Milburn that zoom up Milburn, then across on 16th to get out on Blue Mills. That is going to take that problem to the nth degree. Okay, so with the way this is laid out, I'm just going to take a wild guess that we're going to have a half to 2/3 of the traffic out of this new build coming through my neighborhood. So that's not reasonable or safe. All the traffic that is going to be exiting Blue Mills is going to have to continue on 16th, turn the corner at Blue Mills, and then go to the traffic light at Blue Mills, which is not designed for that level of traffic. Is anything being said as a part of this process to improve the traffic light at 24 and Blue Mills? And of course, now we're into the fun of state of Missouri and MoDOT. Okay, and then also, Blue Mills has never been connected down to Bunshoe. Is it going to be? I don't really want that to happen, but if we're going to address all of this traffic in and out of the Blue Mills subdivision, it needs more than one way to get out of there. Okay, somebody already hit on the elementary school issue, so I'm going to leave that alone. But if this project is to be moved forward, they're going to have to figure out a better way to handle the vehicle ingress and egress out of their subdivision, and Blue Mills cannot be the solution. it needs to be someplace else. I would suggest they try to build south on Powell and let it go down to Bunchu that way. I don't know what the solution is, but my front yard is not the solution. Thank you very much.
I need sworn in if possible.
You have not sworn in?
I have not sworn in.
Okay. Just raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth to this commission tonight? If so, say, I will.
I will.
All right, go ahead.
My name's Corey Bolin. I live at 1501 North Milburn Avenue in Independence, Missouri. I agree with all the previous comments made, but the things I wanted to add were mainly just that, yeah, the housing style is radically different than the previous development that we're currently in. We are mostly in 1 to 2-story homes. Usually they're half buried. These are talking 2 and 3-story homes. Additionally, we're all in favor of, once again, low-income housing or more easily accessible housing for folks. We understand there's a great need in lots of communities. The average price in our neighborhood is $250,000 for a home with a much larger home size and lot size. We do have units available for sale. So I don't really know how, bringing in homes that are $50,000 more already than the homes we do currently have available for sale in the neighborhood would assist folks. Another thing is they've made quite a few comments on the green space usage. We have a heavy family neighborhood that already utilizes the space they're talking about developing for lots of kids, bikes, being able to play out in the field in the country. So it was essentially be taking green space from one community to give it to another. Additionally, I've just got a few more points. I apologize for the delay. With that more cost-efficient housing, there is zero public transit in our neighborhood. It is 2 neighborhoods over. So although it would maybe provide, you could provide lots of homes there, it wouldn't assist any of them with any jobs. There are no jobs outside of basic retail and convenience stores within probably a 2-mile area. In addition, there's, like I said, no public transit. I've got 2 other things I just wanted to speak on. The terrain, I would really like to have them maybe review that again, because from Little Blue into our neighborhood, there is a terrain drop. All of these homes would not only destroy all of our backyard views, but they would all be directly looking into our homes and into our yards. It is not as flat as maybe once they develop, it could become flatter, I'm not certain. But just something to really consider is that there is an elevation change from Little Blue to that neighborhood. It's not great or cliffs or anything like that, but it's definitely going to be directly into all of our views. My last point is that the company on the notice, this Midwest National Holdings LLC, I would just be concerned that they have had previous litigation with Lone Jack and other cities in our area over water usage issues. And so I would be hesitant to, I would be recommending you all to review that, just because it didn't seem like a great community partner at the time with the litigation, but that's been many years. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Was there anyone else who'd like to speak in opposition?
Madam Chair, will you please swear me in?
Yes. Do you promise to tell the truth to this commission tonight? If so, say I will.
I will.
All right.
My name is Kevin King. I live at 20238 East 17th Street, Court North, which is also in the Blue Mill subdivision. I'm for and against this, okay? I applaud the opportunity to bring in new housing into the city of Independence. However, I share some of the same concerns as I will say I wish and would suggest with the builders that they have a community meeting with the people in the subdivision so everybody understands what's going on. I will also disagree a little bit with some of the things that were said that this was a level property, because it is not. It is a hill. It is a hill. And I would also agree that there is some kind of a level of a hill that will match up to some of the homeowners on Milburn, or Millhaven, I'm sorry, that what my concern would be runoff. I also agree that our houses are a lot bigger than this. And I would also agree that they're under 300,000. I don't know a house in the Blue Mill subdivision that is over 300,000. I can tell you this, my house next to me just sold for roughly, I think it was 255, 260,000, and it's a lot bigger than this. I think my biggest concern is the slab homes. This is a huge concern. We saw the tornado hit Joplin several years ago. The majority of those houses that were wiped out were on slab homes, and people had no place to go. They were running around. So if we're going to allow slab homes in this subdivision, they need storm shelter, flat out. No ands, ifs, or buts. They're going to have to figure this out. I heard them say that if they have to put a basement in there, they would, but it drives up the cost. Now we're talking, smaller homes and being above that $300,000 threshold is what I'm going to assume. I also have the concern of attaching into the Blue Mills subdivision on the streets, because that is going to, the traffic's going to increase. So that is a concern. But again, I applaud the efforts to do this. I don't think that small houses are the right thing. I think if they would make them a little bit bigger and kind of shorten down the amount of housing that's there, I don't necessarily would have a problem with that. But again, those are my concerns as a constituent of that area and that neighborhood. I just really hope that the commissioners will think about, everything that's as a whole in this subdivision. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who'd like to speak in opposition?
May I be sworn in, please?
Yes, raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth to this commission? And if so, say, I will.
I will.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Megan Holtz. I live at 1429, North Milburn Avenue. We actually just purchased our home a year ago last month. One of the major selling reasons why we purchased this home is because our backyard, all the houses on Milburn, the backyards look out to the huge rolling up hills that are beautiful. I'm a medical professional with 29 years in the medical field. I work for Liberty Hospital. I work very hard. When I come home, I absolutely need to enjoy the peace and quiet of my backyard. And having the open rolling fields back there is just wonderful. I also am epileptic and have PTSD, so that is a major stress reliever for me as well. I agree with my neighbors in my community. Blue Mills is a wonderful neighborhood. Again, been there a year and a month now, and do not want to see any development in our backyards. We would like to keep our field, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else? Anyone else that'd like to speak in opposition?
I gotta be sworn in. I got to.
Yeah, is there anyone else in the room who has not been sworn in and you plan to talk at any time tonight regarding any case left? Then please stand up and raise your right hand. And all of you, do you promise to tell the truth to this commission tonight? And if so, say I will.
I will.
Thank you.
Okay. My name is Chad Doolittle. I live at 1529 North Milburn. I'm right there at 16th Street and Milburn. I'm at that dead end. And that's a traffic mess right there as it is, like everybody's talked about. But then this gentleman talked about the runoff when it comes to the water. Just the water coming off Little Blue back there floods that area, just into that retention pond. And it's like, if they're going to sit there and put that many houses back there, how much more flooding are we going to deal with when it comes to the weather we've been having lately? So I mean, it's just, like some of that rain goes up in the backyards of our houses back there. Like I said, if they add more to it, where are they going to send that water to? Is it going to come further in my backyard? So that's something that needs to really be looked at on that one. Because just right now alone, it looks like the Nile River when it floods. So that's all I got to say about that.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Anyone else who'd like to speak in opposition? Anyone else? All right. Anyone who would like to speak in favor of this case? Anyone who would like to speak in favor? Okay. I am going to invite developer, engineer, Summit Homes, anyone who'd like to come forward. And specifically, if you'd like to address any of the concerns, the runoff again, the traffic, the just anything that you heard.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak with you again. So, I definitely understand the concerns of the neighborhood, and these are things that we looked at as we designed the neighborhood. We did a traffic study, and then, in working with staff, additional questions, we updated traffic study to, make sure that we had good data for everything. When we did, stormwater, we updated our stormwater study a couple times, making sure that we had, good information and that we were addressing things, and tonight is not the final answer on this. As we continue to work with staff, we're gonna be bringing in a final plat, we're gonna be bringing final development plan, and, as some of these questions come up, and there will absolutely be questions, we are going to be addressing them. City has a wonderful staff. They've worked very, very closely with us, and they've kept us on our toes. They've asked the questions. They're making sure that, we're doing, what is gonna be necessary to have a good, successful community here. As far as, earlier it was asked about, is it flat? Compared to a lot of pieces we work with, it's, fairly flat, but it is definitely rolling. They are absolutely correct. The ground is rolling. We will be grading, and a lot of that grading is going to help with stormwater issues. So whenever we touch a piece of ground, as soon as we've, started working there, we are taking that stormwater and we're controlling it. Whereas right now, while there is a very large detention pond there, the water's not fully controlled. We will be controlling it. So as I've heard these questions and these concerns, they're all absolutely positively, important questions. And while we can't solve everything as we go through a development plan, we've tried to address a lot of the things that were brought up. And I mean, these homes, we talk about being smaller homes. They're still, what's the square footage ranges on them?
Anywhere from 1,200 to 1,800 square feet.
So, 1,200 to 1,800 square feet, they're not tiny houses by any means. Those are, fairly typical, size homes. A lot of them are going to be on slabs. There are some things that we've had to try to figure out creative ways to make this attainable. These price points are under 300. All right, that's very, very difficult to do with new construction. And I've looked at their neighborhood. They have a beautiful neighborhood. And I've looked at the homes for sale, and they are absolutely correct. There are some beautiful homes for sale there that are under 300. That's not necessarily what everyone, every family is looking for. There could be a floor plan they're looking for. There could be somebody downsizing who's looking for something on single level. There's a lot of different reasons that somebody might want a new community. But, we feel that, this is the right project, for that location.
I just wanted to reiterate the point that Brian made and clarify the fact that there's been a lot of talk this evening about this $300,000 number, but the product that we have to offer in this space is under $300,000. Depending on the type of lot that is purchased, the type of, whether it's a slab home or a basement, we have product that we can build and sell in the low twos under the right circumstances. Summit Homes we don't view ourselves as just a home builder. We don't build custom homes. Attainability is really kind of at the core of what we do. And so we do that with the understanding that, it's not always gonna be the most popular product, but we feel like it's the right thing. We feel like, there's not just a housing crisis in Missouri or in the United States. There's an attainable housing crisis. There's, you're absolutely right about the fact that there are a lot of people that have good jobs and have investments and can't afford a $300,000 house. That's why we're trying to create a product in communities like this that's accessible to everybody. So this is important to us. It's an important mission to us. It's important to us to be good stewards of the opportunity that places like Independence give us. It's important to us to be good neighbors. And so we're going to work with Brian and with Ward Development to make sure that we produce something that we can be proud of, that the city of Independence can be proud of.
Any conversation about all the times we heard about just the right away into the subdivision and building your own, anything like that?
Yeah, so, we talked a little bit about the traffic study, and working with staff. So the connections and as that has been designed, that's direct from the traffic professionals and staff. So we work through them for them to tell us what is the best connections and things like that. So, I know for a lot of communities, it is important to maintain connectivity, but we don't, we really don't have an opportunity to say that. That was with traffic studies and with staff is where those generate from.
All right, thank you. Any additional questions?
Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Nesbitt.
So staff, can they not get another access to Little Blue?
No.
So that's a definite no from the city to put another access there.
It's important to note that fire code does require 2 access points for any of these types of developments over 100 units. We looked at this. They did provide a traffic study, as the applicant has mentioned. But yes, there is really no other access point on Little Blue Parkway that would be accessible with this. That's just due to the site distance.
Site distance. Because it looks like to me there was a spot up there towards that curb, but it's too close to 24. Is that what the deal is?
Has more to do with the site distance around the curve.
Oh, site distance around the curve. Okay. Now, my other question then I know the old subdivision, Blue Mills, there were plans, I guess, to continue straight on out because they put 2 dead ends. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
But the developer never did do it, so that's what happened. That's why we're getting another developer to go in here, and it was already planned to put those roads in there. That was probably before Little Blue was even put in there, correct?
I don't know the time frame, but yes, there was a detention pond that was put in by the city that actually prevents Millhaven from continuing through.
Okay,
And
so
that
that's why Millhaven can't go through.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Rick, I'm familiar with some of the area, but not Powell Road. So it looks like Powell Road goes off that way. Is it just too small to be considered?
So Powell Road is actually a dead-end road. It's actually intended as part of the comprehensive plan for the future of Powell Road to take a turn to the west. And so that road is actually currently unimproved. The intent here is to not actually allow traffic to move south on that because it's an unimproved road. And so that's why it doesn't continue south. Now, there could be a potential future development to the south that could relocate Powell Road.
But this one wouldn't do it.
This one's not. This is far north than that, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for stepping back up.
Thank you.
All right, Rick,
Chair.
can you just
Chair.
remind the commission, so this is a rezoning request only for PUD. So if we approve this tonight, it's to continue plans with you in which some of these concerns would be or have been addressed?
Well, if this were to be approved by this commission, it would still move forward to council for final approval.
Okay.
And then after that, then yes, that's where the design phase would begin for engineering to meet the requirements that we've been discussing for making sure that stormwater mitigation and everything is per codes and specification.
As far as you're concerned, is there any requirement to have a location of a storm, I don't know, what would you call them, storm protection when there's only slabs?
So, I mean, that's a slightly different question. If you're talking about the detention ponds, they do have 4 of them proposed
No,
on
I'm
the
talking
site.
about if there's a tornado and tornado shelter, thank you.
I would have to look at the building code. I'm probably not the best person to answer that question.
Okay.
Chair. Now,
Yes, Commissioner.
Rick, what I see, they're gonna tie into Powell Road, which goes down to Bunchu, correct?
Actually not. There's a tract that they have there that is preventing that. And that was, again, by intention because Powell Road is an improved dead-end street.
Well, I'm looking at the map. It looks like me, Powell goes all the way down to Bunchu, and that's wrong?
It does go all the way down to Bunchu, but it
Okay.
doesn't continue further past that.
But now, not
location.
past that, but this subdivision will go down. They can take Powell down to Bunchu, correct?
They could open it up to that, but realize that that's not an improved road, and part of the future street plan shows Powell Road actually being relocated to the west.
To the west?
Yep.
Okay, so we're saying Powell that's I see on the map right now is not gonna be there anymore.
Not going to exist.
That is the future plan intention.
Okay.
Any additional questions? Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing. I will entertain a motion.
Chair,
Yes, Commissioner.
I make a motion we approve case 26-125-03, rezoning / PUD 20691 East US 24 Highway.
I second.
All right, I have a first and a second. Any final discussion?
Yes.
Yes,
So you were saying that all this could be planned out in the wash, but kind of sounds like your hands are kind of tied anyway on some of the important parts, and that what other planning would be able to happen. You can't do anything with Powell Road, right? So those access points that's all done.
For sake of what's available, yes.
Okay, and then they're not going to give up any more homes if there needs to be more detention, stormwater detention, right?
Well, keep in mind, the stormwater detention, I mean, we haven't designed that yet. That doesn't actually happen unless the plan gets approved. But keep in mind, they would have to meet our stormwater mitigation code to make sure that they are detaining for whatever impervious coverage that they create.
So it gets approved, you guys do your thing, and it comes back before us again or not? Or it goes directly to council?
It would for a final plat,
Go to us?
yes.
All right.
But
all right, any final? Okay, we have a motion. In a second, I'll go ahead and call for the vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
This is a tough one. I mean, I see where we need the houses. I see these type of houses hopping up all over the place. I do hear what they say about going into the subdivision. I don't like the going into the subdivision with this many cars. And you guys have supposedly done the traffic study. I don't know if it's included in our report or it probably was. I'm not,
It
like I
is,
say,
yes.
I didn't read it, but I'm still saying that, it's a lot of traffic being dumped back into that one area, and I can see where everybody's going to be going in there. So that's one real big mark against this one is that since it's only got one access. I mean, if Powell would go on through, I would think that'd be great. And I don't know if they can come up with that and make it happen or not. That would probably be a whole lot better, and that way you make that access open first before you even try to open up 16th Street to make everybody go that way. But I mean, that's where I'm sitting at. So I'm gonna have to go a no on this one.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
I'm with my buddy down there. I don't, I'm a no. I think if they really want to do it, they should redo their preliminary plan.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
No.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Chair Wiley.
I'm trying to, where are we? I can't help but know that we need an opportunity to develop more. So with the work that this city does, I am going to vote yes and move this on to the council. The motion does pass 4-3. And at this point, I am going to ask you all to allow us to take a short restroom break. So we will meet back in. It's 8:26. If we could meet back in here at 8:32. Well, we were all wrong on time.
I have mine. I won't be over.
chicken or the eggs. You know, if you bring 195 new homes in that are paying property taxes, that puts more money in the school district. If you never do that, then you still have the same problem.
Well, there's one on each one of these things, and it's a black button.
It's an ejector seat thing.
I don't know what.
You push that button, it's gonna flip you backwards out of your
Get started as soon as they're in their seat. Well, there was only two, and there was a line.
What is it?
Okay. All right, I'm going to call the meeting back to order, and we are going to continue with our next case, number 26. What is that? 81001 for White Oak.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner.
I would like to recuse myself from voting on this case as I'm a part of the Board of Community Services League.
All right. I think that's appropriate, and thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. All right, Brian, are you the staff on this one?
Oh, yes, I am.
I will go ahead and have you begin.
Okay, so this is case 26-801, 810-01. Applicant, Community Services League. The proposed action is for a preliminary development plan for a property located at 136 East White Oak. So as you can see from our map here on the board, the little star there is right north of the square area. They're at Noland, just north of Truman Road on White Oak. So this is the notification area. As you can see, this lot is north of White Oak with the CSL property and its parking lot wrapping around there on the north, and then the Second Baptist Church there on the west. So as far as the surrounding zoning, that CSL property is currently zoned C2 General Commercial. The church property to the west has a similar zoning of this as this property, which is R30 PUD. And then we have that also going up Main along the east side, as well as some single-family residential further to the north of Budding Farmer. This is one of the first subdivisions that was developed in the city outside of Old Town Independence back in 1862. The McCoy Edition was a 16-lot subdivision that wrapped around the corner and up Main there. Much of these lots are currently in the possession of the Second Baptist Church there to the west, as well as Lot 16. Lot 17, this property, is like the others, has long been removed of having any residential use for a number of decades now. So the site has functioned here at this current location as a community garden for at least a decade. The site's relatively flat, basically contains some little planters with a black chain link 6-foot fence surrounding the property. And of course, the ownership's been transferred to facilitate this development from the city to a CDL or CSL. So here is the site and grading plan for this property. As you can see, the pedestrian access for this property will be off the public sidewalk with a sidewalk going straight down, well, not straight down the middle, but almost down the middle of this property with little clusters of 3 tiny homes each going up this toward the north parking lot there. And that would be for any residents who do have vehicles, that would be the place where they would be able to park such vehicles. And again, CSL that offers all the needed services for the people who would be living here, of course, is right immediately to the east there. So this gives a little bit better blow up here when we look at the landscaping plan. So you can see where they've planned to put some shrubbery and some trees around the property, particularly there adjacent to the CSL property to the east, and then large street trees there at the south corners there along White Oak. So this is the floor plan to these proposed homes. So I sort of got it turned on the side here, so the front being on the left there. And you've got a porch area, and then you'd have your main living and sort of, I suppose it could be used for dining, but your main living area. And then in the middle, you have your kitchen and your bathroom leading to the bedroom that is at the rear of the property with that large closet back there up in the corner. So here's the elevation. So you've got the front elevation with a couple of windows in the door, and then the rear of the property would have the HVAC unit and window, and then you'd have a small window on one of the long side portions of the property. And you can see the overhang that the roof would create in the front. So create a little roof area over the porch area at the front of the home. So this is a photograph of the immediate area. So the picture on the left is the property itself looking across White Oak, deep into the property there. And then each direction up and down White Oak. Right here, you've got down toward Noland there on the upper picture, and then up toward Maine on the lower picture. So these are the recommendations for approval. Staff has recommended for this preliminary development plan. So if you have any other questions, I'm ready to answer those. So staff recommends approval of this case.
All right, thank you so much, Brian.
I have a question.
Commissioners?
I
Commissioner
have a
Ashall?
question. Brian, what's a BMP?
Best management practice. And it has to do with best management practices for dealing with stormwater and runoff, basically.
And those would be,
Hmm?
and what would those be?
I can fill that in. So it can be a variety of things. It can be a variety of kind of like bioretention. It can be a combination of storm inlet boxes that collect floatables. It can be a combination of stormwater detention as well. Best management practices, just essentially the best management practices for stormwater mitigation.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any additional questions for staff?
Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, you said the parking's gonna be out front?
Parking, there would be a parking, if you look here at our, I can't see that very well without my glasses.
This looks like words to me.
But if you look at the approval here, there'll be a requirement that CDL to their deed perpetually creates parking opportunity for anyone who lives in those spaces if they have a vehicle to park in CSL's lot.
So parking's gonna be at the Community Service League.
Yes,
Do they have spots available for 9?
yes.
Okay.
All right, any additional questions for staff? All right, I will invite the applicant forward.
Good evening, members of the Planning Commission. Thank you for your volunteer service to our community. I'm Doug Cowan. I'm President and CEO of Community Services League, who in 2026 is celebrating our 110th anniversary of our founding and independence.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I'm joined by our Affordable Housing Development Manager, Donna Bradford, and our engineer, Erwin Gard. You'll note our application in front of you. At a certain point, it may reference CSL Housing Solutions, which is our real estate company, but it is a company with single ownership, owned exclusively by CSL, and it exists only for the purpose of acquiring, developing, and maintaining safe, stable, and affordable housing. I'd like to provide for you just a very brief background on our housing investments as some context on how we got here tonight. So for nearly 20 years, CSL has been a HUD-certified housing counseling agency, and we employ HUD-certified housing counselors. We are listed on HUD's website and are a regional resource for a variety of housing needs. CSL holds the leases to 155 units of housing in both Jackson and Wyandotte counties, housing 250 formerly homeless individuals who receive wraparound supports from our organization. These leases are held through or in partnership with HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development's Continuum of Care program, and we administer about $3.5 million annually in grants from HUD to maintain those 155 units of housing. We also administer a variety of rent, mortgage, and utility assistance programs in Independence and Jackson County. During the pandemic, CSL was Jackson County's administrator of more than $45 million in federal funds for rent and utility assistance, and we've helped to prevent more than 10,000 evictions. We are currently administering the City of Independence's share of federal Home ARP funds, which are remnant funds from the American Rescue Plan, preventing even more evictions. We have built and sold 2 affordable homes here in Independence, directly north of the map that you saw at both 143 and 147 Waldo, and we have 4 more affordable single-family home constructions under contract that are in different phases of construction. 3 of those are on North Hocker, directly behind Habitat for Humanity's Hiram Young School headquarters. Our goal is to help create generational wealth and family stability for those stuck in generational cycles of renting. CSL is very active in homeless street outreach, both in the streets and also welcoming guests to our Eastern Jackson County Drop-In Center at I-70 and Blue Ridge in partnership with Good Shepherd Community of Christ. Over the last 6 years, we've seen rental rates skyrocket. Housing is simply unattainable for many of our neighbors, and that seems to be a common theme through the presentations tonight. It is certainly unattainable, housing is certainly unattainable for those trying to go from unhoused or unstably housed to market rate housing. It is an enormous leap. The market needs a much better option. Years ago, CSL casually approached the city about acquiring the land adjacent to our Nolan Road headquarters, and the city council ultimately voted to sell us that land in late 2025. And so before you, as you've seen, is a plan to bring forward 9 units of housing at 360 square feet apiece. We think this is a great option for single individuals, and the preference for this housing will be crew members employed through our roadside litter removal crews. We have 2 contracts for that service. Many of you know the very successful, or I think it's successful, the Independence Together program, where we provide an opportunity for good hard work for folks to help build a pathway out of homelessness. We also have a similar contract with the Missouri Department of Transportation. This small home development fosters a sense of community while providing private living options for our crews. Many of our crew members don't have their own transportation, so they would be mere steps away from their daily place of employment. All of our crews that leave, whether they're staying in Independence or servicing MoDOT roadways in Jackson County, they all meet at 404 North Noland and depart from there, which is why we think this development makes a lot of sense. CSL has visited similar, what we think are successful developments in Kansas City, Kansas, called Eden Village, and the well-known Veterans Community Project in South Kansas City. These developments can be highly successful for residents. We think this is an ideal location because they're next door to CSL, where they can connect with their place of employment, a case manager, and all of CSL's expansive services. They are also next to the KCATA bus transfer station. The number of people living on the streets or couch surfing shows us that we need more creative approaches to housing in our community. And we believe that this development is a small but important step in making housing available to all Independence residents. We thank you for your consideration, and I'd be happy to take your questions.
All right, commissioners, any questions for Mr. Cowan? None. All right. I do have one question for you. Just remind me again, is there a time limit for people to live in them?
Ideally, we look at our work as human development. We hope people go on into home ownership. We hope they get into market rate housing at some point. We've had great success with our litter removal crews in getting folks housed. I think we've had more than 25 that we've taken from street level homelessness. Many of them have resided in camps along 40 Highway, and we've helped them get into market rate housing. But I will tell you that it has taken an enormous amount of subsidy to get there. The leap from here to here is insurmountable on their own. Let alone you think about somebody trying to get first month, last month, security deposit, utility deposits, all of those things. You're talking several $1,000s just to get Upstart into housing. So that would be our hope. But we also know that that development process is not at the same pace for everybody. So I would imagine that my standard response to that is I would imagine it's a bell curve. I would imagine on one end we would have some people that would stay a very short time and move on. We would have some people that may end up being long timers, and probably most people would be there a few years with us as they're growing. We do, thanks to a local grant-making foundation, our crew members now have access to a match savings fund for the dollars that they earn through work, so that we can hopefully expedite that financial development that they're going through. But we still know that all these folks have their own stories. I can't possibly encapsulate them into one story, but they all have these stories, and it takes time for them to move on.
All right, thank you very much. All right. I will ask if there's anyone in the room who would like to speak in opposition to this case. Anyone who would like to speak in opposition? All right.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Roxanne Coppridge Robinson, and I live at 131 East Farmer Street in Independence, 64050, and I've been at that residence over 50 years. And my backyard bumps up against Community Service League's back parking lot. And over the years since I've been there, they had Community Service League moved in, and then the city built the bus station depot, and then here comes the community garden. And I don't know what's next. I guess these little tiny homes you're gonna try to put in there. I have so many questions to ask about this, and I know they have been working on this project for quite some time. But I want to know, does these tiny houses, is this anywhere else in our city? And why do you want to put them in our neighborhood? I know we're here to try to do the rezoning of that PUD. And if that passes, does that mean in time, these tiny houses could be moved and built over across the street on White Oak Street, where those lots are at? Let's see. And also, I want to know, I have a lot of questions. Like I said, I want to know, what is your definition of homelessness? Is that someone in crisis or just down on bad luck? I have, this is kind of already answered, but I'm gonna say, these tiny houses that they're gonna build, how many people can live in one tiny house? And how long will they be? And are they allowed to have pets? Because that'll be a mess. I understand the Community Service Lead was supposed to be managing these properties and 24/7, and I would like to have some personal information from our records on that. Who I need to get in touch with is if I think I need to contact somebody with the Community Service Lead. My house, I know doesn't mean anything to you, but it's my home. And I think these tiny little houses will bring down the property value of my house. And I have worked hard, to stay there as long as I have and try to keep my house up. So are you gonna do anything for me, offsetting and lower my property taxes? And what about me and my safety, all of us in this room could be homeless tomorrow. And those tiny houses may be good for some people, but I think they will look just as nice in your backyard than it would be in mine. I hope that you can answer some of the questions that I have asked, and I want to thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in opposition?
Good evening, everyone. My name is John Gray. I live at 1109 East 105th Street in Edwardsville, Kansas. But I happen to be the senior pastor of Second Baptist Church, who owns a majority of the property in this adjacent area that we're speaking of. Now, I want you to know, first of all, I want to commend CSL for the work that they do. They're trying to provide housing for individuals who do not have homes. They're trying to get individuals to have a new start and get them refreshed in life and get them the tools that they need to be successful in a community. But as the senior pastor of Second Baptist, the church that has been sitting on this piece of property for over 165 years, we have some concerns. As a senior pastor, I have a concern not just for the people of Second Baptist, but also for the individuals who live in the community and the neighborhood that surrounds Second Baptist. As a pastor, I am responsible to look out for their well-being, as well as those who are transient, those who don't have a home, those who are looking for a meal, those who are needing medical help. And at Second Baptist, we try to provide all of those things should an individual come to our doors in need of those things. But I do have a problem with 9 tiny homes being placed at our back door. And here's why. Because after the development of the bus station, we got an influx of people throughout our community. And now we have individuals sleeping on the steps of our church. We have individuals engaged in sexual activities on our properties. We have syringe needles and all types of paraphernalia being found on the property where our children play. They're scheduled to play there this weekend. But we're going to have to go out and make sure that we don't have syringes and all kind of foreign debris on our property to make sure that our children are safe when they play on the property of Second Baptist Church. Now, we don't own the property that CSL owns, but we are adjacent to that property. And what transpires on that property affects what happens at our church. And we've been grappling with a few things. As I looked out the window the other day and I saw that the police station is being torn down, that told me that there's going to be an increase on response time from the police officers when we call them. And believe me, over the last 3 years, we've had to make quite a few phone calls. Individuals who've come on our property and cut our power off on a weekly basis. Yes, climbed up on our church, cut the utilities off with whatever they had to cut it off with. But we've had to have that restored time and time again because of transient individuals coming onto our property. We've dealt with just recently individuals throwing bricks through our stained glass windows. Transient individuals. Individuals who need help, yes. Individuals who need homes, absolutely. But there's a method and a means by which we must do this in order to bring continuity to one's life. I just happen to be a psychology and human services major, and I realize that you cannot change the behavior of an individual overnight. I understand that. And I understand there are some processes that we must go through in order to change an individual's standing in life. When we fall on hard times, it is rough to get off of hard times. But I don't believe this serves the community around our church, the community of Independence in a well manner. There's plenty of places that we could possibly find to do this same type of work. But why is it in our backyard that this project has been slated to be built or produced? Have we not proven, after 165 years, that we are capable of helping individuals in this community without something else being thrown in our backyard? Now, when I look at this plan and I look at the parking that's even supposedly going to be produced for this project, I'm already thinking about Santa Caligon coming. Where are those individuals going to park then? Because our parking lot will not be available to be used as overflow parking should an individual need to park. Where the transit people that come from day to day just because of the weather, what do we say to them then? And believe me, when you're in transition trying to go from having nothing to having something, there are going to be days where your attitude is not going to be all rosy. And then I have another concern. What happens when those individuals are in one of those situations, when they're having one of those days, and our children are outside playing? No one takes these types of things into consideration, but as a pastor, I must. Now, I believe in providing security. I believe in providing shelter for individuals. I believe for providing food for individuals when they need it, should they need it. But I also believe that we should have been taken into consideration much earlier than today about this project. Had we been notified at an earlier date, we probably would have did some work to even possibly work in conjunction with this. But after 165 years, to not even be considered, to have a project put in place that could possibly affect the very livelihood of the church's property, I just can't go along with that. So I want them to know, I commend them for their work. I think it's a work that must be done. In fact, I know it's a work that must be done. But the consideration was not put in place properly. And therefore, I'm against it as the senior pastor. Can we work together possibly in the future on some projects, work in conjunction with one another? I believe we could. But I don't think this is the answer at this point in time. I thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Is anyone else present who would like to speak in opposition?
My name is Nancy Harris. I live at 15308 East Truman Road, 64050. I have property in the area, and my property is on High Street. It's just a little adjacent to Cole. And I have property on College Street. We have 2 homes on College and vacant lots on High Street. In the years we've been, since 1978, we had the property on High Street. We had a house there. Homeless people came in and we was restoring it. They burned it up. We had to tear it down because they burned it up. And when they came, they're like they owned the house. They came in and said, well, what are you doing here? Welcome to my house, like they owned the property. And it's just been one thing after another. On College, we got our house ready for to sell. They kicked down the doors. We had put siding on it. They did everything. My house is a total mess because of homeless people. Just the 20th of May, the police had to come. They moved in on a vacant lot. and have just left all the junk there, I have to pay somebody to haul that stuff away. I don't have that kind of money to keep repairing. They took our air conditioner, took all our copper out of our stuff. This is what we're been plagued with homeless people. I am sick and tired. I used to have sympathy for them. I have no sympathy for homeless people. They can get out and work just like I worked hard for what I did. And if they were, and most of these people are white people that do this. They leave their trash, their dog poop, everything, and they even went to my church, which is St. Paul AME Church, and pottied in our well, and then had the nerve to flash us when they just got them on the ring. And these things that we have to contend with, we're tired of being targeted for things. Every time they want to put up something new, they come to the black people's area and put all of these low-income people, all these people communing together is not good to put them all in one area. And I am definitely sick and tired of them destroying my property, and I have to pay for what they have destroyed. And I get nobody to help me to pay for getting the trash that they have put on my property off. So what are you going to do about those things when these occur, when they bring mattresses and all this stuff and put on your property that you have to go, and then the city cites you for it, something that you wasn't even aware that was being done? I just like to have some answers, and I'd like to know that we need help just as well for what they have done to destroy our property that we're trying to keep up. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else present who'd like to speak in opposition? Anyone? Okay, is there anyone present who'd like to speak in favor of this case? Anyone? Okay. Mr. Cowan, I will call you back up. It was a lot. I took some notes for you if you, of just some of the questions that Ms. Robinson had.
I think I jotted them down as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Yeah,
So if you'd just like to address any of them, that would be great.
sure, yeah. Roxanne and Nancy and Pastor John, we are neighbors, and above all, we saw earlier tonight these sort of contentious things that are happening, and CSL is in community development, and we've been here for 110 years, and so above all, we want to be good neighbors, and I just want you to know that I appreciate what you've said tonight, and I appreciate you being here and sharing. To a couple of specific questions, Roxanne, that you brought up. The homes are going to be built on a foundation. You had asked about could they be moved across the street. These are,
No, I had asked, what if that zoning passes, then in time, could you build tiny houses across the street on White Oak?
oh, well, to the best of my knowledge, the bus company, KCATA owns that whole piece, and then the National Park Service owns the large green space on White Oak. But the homes that we would build would be on a foundation, so they're not on trailers, they're not moving, they would be built into the ground with a foundation. You also asked about the definition of homelessness, and I think it's important to address that this work, I've been at CSL for 17 years, and it is not clean, easy work. It is. We've heard stories tonight, and Nancy, you've talked about the challenges that come up, and I obviously can't disagree with any of that. I don't think I stated my address. I live at 807 South Main Street, so I live less than a mile from CSL. My kids have grown up there. I've had my kids volunteering out there, and Pastor John, I hate to say it, they have found syringe needles as well, and all the things you've talked about. We've replaced more broken windows at CSL than I care to. We've had people staying on our roof, and it's been a full-time vigilant job to help maintain our property. And I even had, I'm active in the scouting program, and had a couple scouts doing community service hours, and they found a firearm just a few months ago as they were cleaning out some of our landscaping area. Thankfully, they were scouts and they knew what to do. But I say that because I understand, and these are challenges that we live with on a daily basis. And while I may not be right next door, I'm just around the corner. And so I take this work, and I've always taken this work that we do at CSL very seriously. But you talked about the definition of homelessness, and people exist on many different ends of the homelessness spectrum. Do we think that a person that is in the middle of an encampment that is in what we would call, entrenched homelessness, have been living on the streets for years, is this type of a house going to be a good fit for them? Absolutely not. The ideal candidates would be people that are employed through our program. I like to say that they have platforms. They have things that are going in their life, so they're continuing to step up. And Pastor John, you talked about that in human development and how it takes time. And so the first step is often having a job or something that is, promoting sobriety, whatever the case might be, and that they're ready for housing. That might mean that they've been recently housed. That means they understand. Part of the screening process is, can they live in a community? Do they know how to maintain a home? Like I said, we employ 4 street outreach workers that are throughout our community, working from the truck stops in Oak Grove all the way out to the Speedway in KCK. They work in a coordinated regional effort. Going and finding 9 people and saying, come with me, we got a house for you, is not a successful development. A successful development is screening and making sure we have people, because their success is our success, is your success, and so on and so forth. You asked about the number of people. These are designed for single people. I would imagine that we will have a policy like all people do. They may have a guest from time to time, but we'll be check in and check out, and probably a limit on the amount of time that a guest can spend, because these are what will be classified as efficiency units with 1 bedroom, and they're not made for multiple residents. We have recently, to many of the things that you've addressed, in response to just kind of an increasingly tough environment to work in, we have hired Patrol KC. If you come by, you've probably noticed their car. We spend about $80,000 a year on private security just at our Nolan Road location. We spend another $40,000 a year at our drop-in center at I-70 in Blue Ridge, and we do that in part to be a good neighbor. I know that it doesn't stop everything, but it is our commitment to our people, our possessions, our neighbors. We have every intention to continue that. We think that has been successful for us. So a part of this development would be security sweeps, ensuring compliance with all of the rules that would come around any rental development, and helping to protect the safety and security of everybody. So I don't know if I directly answered everything, but above all my answers, hopefully, Roxanne, you and I have known each other for 17 years. The most important thing is that we continue to be good neighbors. And regardless of what happens tonight, I hope we work together. If this project moves forward, I hope we work together to make it a successful one. And if it doesn't, I hope we think about and envision where we can go in the future. Pets. Donna, have we addressed the pets situation? Pets. Animals.
Yes, so we believe that there will be no pets, but I have to be honest with you.
Ma'am, if you're going to speak, it has to be on the record.
Yes.
And I need your name and your local address.
Donna Bradford, 6020 Main Street, Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
And sorry about that. Yes, we think there will be no pets, but we're in the process right now of coming up with the lease and all the regulations in the lease. Like we're talking about, overnight visitors can only spend 2 nights, all those things. So that's where we are, but it's not definite because we're not done with the lease yet. And also, our subdivision, our 9 tiny homes will have 4 sort of street light things with cameras in them, and just through the property that come down so that we can monitor. And our plan is to have a social service worker 30 hours a week working with those folks, and then a 10-hour-a-week property manager. So we'll go in and inspect units and, making sure people aren't going in. And also the plan is to keep the fence up between the church and the property, so nobody parks and can, walk across and go into the subdivision. I keep saying subdivision, it's like 9 units. But did I answer you? Yes, sorry.
Well, they already.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, we can only have one person speak, and it has to be on the microphone.
Oh,
I'm just, like I said, they are already park by our, they already do this, park on and walk around and all that stuff. They do that now, so that's what I was just saying about the parking area. And when they have guests and a snowy day, they're still gonna park there because it's close to go in that area, then to go park down here and walk up the steps and all that kind of stuff. So it's gonna be problems, there's no doubt about it.
I just want to add that we put security on our houses. They take it off. We even had a light, and if you walk in, it'll come on. They undid it all. I don't know how, we don't even know how they get into the house. But it's just a problem after problem after problem, and it's just fed up. And it just seems like you target the black areas to put these kind of places. And like you said, those houses on Hawker, that's a black area. All these places, you put it in the black area. Why can't you put it in your house so you can know how we feel and what we have to go through to maintain what God has given us by working hard. And then you bring some of these people in to destroy everything that you have accomplished. And it's just heartbreaking. We are tired of being the ones that have to give up everything for something for somebody else. What about us? What are you going to do for us? Build us up sometimes, just not all these other people. We get tired of being the low man on the totem pole all the time.
Roxanne, I think your first question was why here? And we believe that the success of this development, a formal industry term would be service-enriched housing. You might find that on a Missouri Housing Development Commission document. But essentially what that means is housing with supports. If we were to put this, pick any other parcel of land in Independence, we don't think folks would be as successful as they would be by having access to their case managers and the support from CSL. So that's why we would call it service enriched, so that they were marrying the concept of housing, attainable housing, good, stable housing, with the opportunity to get continued support as people are journeying towards an increased level of self-reliance and self-sufficiency. So that's why here, because we believe that those two things anchored together will make it more successful.
So Doug, it leads me to a question of just maybe a quick explanation of the pathway for these 9 individuals that will be chosen. You mentioned they're employed, probably doing the Together program or one of the other trash programs. So these are not the individuals that we knowingly find doing the kind of activities that the church is experiencing. Is that correct?
Correct. And I would obviously.
I'm going to go ahead and have him address me. So thank you very much. Go ahead.
We never for a moment, while we understand that people have tough backgrounds, we would never excuse the type of behavior that you're referring to. Being somebody that lives on Main Street, I've lived in my house for 14 years, and I've lived by a variety of halfway houses. I've had people passed out on my front yard. I've dealt with many of the struggles that you talk about, and I understand. And I started going down there, and I almost forgot your question. criminal activity is not to be excused. We are seeking folks, I mentioned that everyone's shared success is what's important here. There are places where people who are, if they are addicted to substances, if they need mental health support, there are places more appropriate for them to go. Sometimes if you're exiting directly from the street, congregate shelter, transitional type living downtown. There are several great shelters. Restart, City Union Mission, among many others, offer great supports that are appropriate. And we believe for a certain segment of the population who is looking at upward opportunities, we believe that these housing units are appropriate for them. So we think it's about finding the most appropriate fit for people. But please don't misunderstand me. Criminal activity is not acceptable, nor should it be acceptable. And we will do everything that we can to make sure that it is mitigated as much as possible.
Doug, can you address the question of why there wasn't communication really with the Second Baptist Church? And then two, I heard some of those concerns were about the trash found. You even said in your own yard, syringes, things like that. Maybe a good candidate to receive some work from the Together program. But just can you address that, the relationship with Second Baptist
Sure.
Church, and maybe why there wasn't the communication?
Sure. And Pastor, that's my fault completely. For 3 or 4 times I sat at my desk thinking, you know what? I had never met Pastor John. I had met his predecessor, Pastor Nero, several times, and had been to his office and he to mine. But I didn't reach out, and that's because I just failed to follow through. And Pastor, I apologize for that. That's not a neighborly thing to do, nor a community development mindset. In the area that we're at, if you spend any time, and the number of folks on foot is high. It's very high. Going to the bus, going to the square for services, going to the police station, name any number of 100 things. Unfortunately, sometimes people are cutting through and they're passing to different places. Invariably, Roxanne has called me a couple times over the years, and we've retrieved food boxes and other things from her backyard, and we know that things happen, and so we try to do the best that we can, and have tried to be a good neighbor and cleaning up whatever trash might exist around our property. But yes, maybe there are some folks that would be good candidates for job opportunities.
Anything else we should know?
I think we've covered about as much as I could share tonight.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, any final discussion? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve case number 26810-01.
Okay, I have a first,
Second.
and I have a second. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote.
Chair,
Yes.
staff, how many square feet of green space is supposed to be on a single-family home, roughly? Is it 20, 30, 50, 75%?
I mean, we don't have really a percentage. We require, of course, a certain setback, and then 60% of the front yard has to be green.
60% of the front yard?
And then we have a certain rear setback distance, but
But on
of
this,
course, some minimum square footages, but you can have different house sizes that
Right,
cut
so-
down on the green space, so.
but on this one here, we're not having any setbacks because it's getting a PUD, is that correct?
Well, I mean, I actually spell out the setbacks and
Okay.
the conditions.
Are we requiring them then to put up a berm and a fence because it's a PUD, because of landscape?
I believe they show a fence.
Say again?
Excuse me. I believe they show a fence in their PUD plan.
They do show a fence? I mean, I can't read that plan, it's so small. I sat there trying, because
Yeah.
looks like it's 175 by 80. So basically, it's about 8,500 square feet. And if you put all 9 houses, you're looking at about 3,300 square feet of houses. So you got 3,300 square feet of a house. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't just build a house and then put different rooms in there. That way it'd be better off for the community. It looks like a house instead of a bunch of little houses there. So, I mean, that's what I'm looking at for my opinion on this situation. I am not really for all these little small houses going in. I mean, we had this big thing going up there around the area of the square and stuff and onward. So mine is going to be a no vote.
Okay, I will call for the vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
No.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
No.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
you're recused. Commissioner Young,
Yes.
and Chairperson Wiley.
Yes. And the motion passes at 4-2,
There you go.
and 1 abstained. All right, thank you very much. Once again, Mr. Cowan, I would just encourage you to have that much-needed conversation with the church. All right, and we are to, let me find it, my new order here. Case 6, which is 26-810-02, which is a preliminary development plan with McBee Acres.
So this is case 26810-02, which is the preliminary development plan, and then a accompanying final plat, 26-320-03. So as you can see from the map here, this is in the extreme edge of our city. Basically, it's a property that lies north of 24 that was annexed into the city that's sort of behind the Quick Trip, if you're familiar with that location.
Yep.
Just, this is just southwest of where Salem Drive intersects with 24 Highway. So you can see from the notification map here, of course, this is being replatted into new plattings, but this shows the current lots, the 2 lots that make up this property that are in their adjacency to the surrounding residential neighborhood that's to the northeast and west in the county, as well as the commercial properties that lie to the south there along 24 Highway. So if you look at the zoning map here, it says C2. It's not C2 anymore. The zoning map hadn't been updated. But the original preliminary development plan that came before this one was also a rezoning. The rezoning has stuck, and this is just a revival of the expired preliminary development plan. Okay. So again, you've got residential neighborhoods zoned in the county outside of the city that are to our northeast and west. And then you can see some of the commercially zoned properties, the Quick Trip and some other C1 properties across the road to the southeast there. Okay, so this aerial photograph here shows the infrastructure that's actually already in place. So you can see that loop road for this roughly 11 and a half acre property. So what this property entails is 39 duplex buildings containing 27 units within those buildings along this loop road that connects with Salem Drive. And as you'll see on the drawings, there are 2 detention basins that will serve this development. And as far as amenities go, they're going to include a walking trail that basically goes down to the south part of the property and runs along what is the vacated right-of-way of Lexington Road and around that south and southeast end and looping back into the right-of-way there farther on the east side. And then, as well as incorporating this amenity of a walking trail, they're going to have some street furniture or along that walking trail as well, benches and places to rest. And so this actually is a better indication of what I was talking about. You can see that that looping path on the south and the distribution of these basically 2 styles of duplexes that will be situated around this property, with some larger ones scattered in strategic locations and other smaller ones in between. So this is that same drawing basically. Again, it shows the proposed plantings that would be on that plan. And then this is an indication of the signage for the project and the landscaping around that in the entrance area where the Lynchburg Road goes into Salem Drive here. So the next 2 pages are the final site plan. They created this as basically what they're doing is they're creating 2 large tracks, an inner tract within the loop and an exterior tract. And then, as you will see from page 2, they are creating these individual lot envelopes for those buildings within. We're recommending that this drawing be combined so it's one drawing and easier to follow than having it separated out like it is. But the main issue of the envelopes being that even though they're putting these houses in separate envelopes for reasons that the financial industry wants them to do, the ownership is going to remain under one ownership. So it's all common ground, whether it's in or it's all a management company property, whether it's in those envelopes or whether it's the individual tracts in which those lie. So I got a couple examples of the 2 structures that they're going to have. This duplex is the ranch version right here. And then we have the 2-story here. So, and these are the actual elevations of these 2 different designs here. So you get orientation of the neighborhood here, basically. This is looking basically northward. The subdivision's off to our left. The existing Lynchburg going into the county subdivision is there on the right. And then these 2 other pictures are looking, the one up top is actually the straightaway on the south that's looking back toward, I believe it's I think they called it the Little General Store used to up that way. And the one on the south side is looking at the backside of Quick Trip there. So staff's recommending approval of the preliminary development plan request. So the, basically goes over some setback issues as well as the setback needs based upon these different exterior and interior lots. It's spelled out here. And then we reiterate that again in our request for approval of the final plat, which will again follow those recommendations that were outlined there previously in the preliminary plat, so, or the preliminary development plan. So that completes my presentation. I'm ready to take any questions about this you may have.
So Brian, to clarify, we have a preliminary plat, or the first plat.
A preliminary development plan, which for our purposes and our code functions as the preliminary plat.
Right.
Yes.
And then immediately we have a second case for the final plat. And that was precipitated by expiration coming to the original plan?
Yeah, the original preliminary development plan had expired.
Okay.
So they had to, in order to do this plat, they had to renew
Okay.
their preliminary development.
And this plan is quite different than the original plan.
The big difference is these lots.
Right.
That there are gonna be
Been
created.
divided up differently.
And that wasn't actually spelled out so much in the plan, but is of course spelled out in these, on this final plat.
Okay.
You know, showing those
Okay.
individual lots.
Any questions for staff?
Brian, on the first one, did we not have something about no parking on one side of the street? I thought we had a big deal about the street width and everything, getting a fire truck and trash and everything through there.
I don't recall.
I think I can answer that one. I think when we talked about it, the traffic engineer would make an assessment on whether or not parking needed to be restricted on one side of the street or not. During the original approval of this, we had the discussions about the additional parking lots that you see to try to mitigate any excessive parking on streets.
Okay, so there's I'm trying to figure out what those little spots, those additional parking spots now they got added to this then.
That is correct. I
Okay.
do want to point out too that the development is done. It's constructed. The
Right.
infrastructure is in place. So this is one, updating the PUD plan, and because it has expired. But the other thing is because this is changing how they're showing those lot envelopes, which was different from the other one.
I guess I'm not following the envelopes. Are we just saying, I never heard them called envelopes.
If you can go, Brian, to that one second page. Yeah. So essentially, the previous PUD plan that was approved only really showed two lots. And so this hasn't been final platted yet. And the developers here, or the representative from the developers here, he can speak to this. But the reason it hasn't been final platted yet is because they're needing to create these lot envelopes for some financial purposes.
So we're almost switching it where there were two lots with multiple structures to basically two lots on, or multiple lots with two on each of those.
Two large lots with
Right.
these multiple, what we call lot envelopes.
Okay.
So who can own the envelopes? Different people or not?
So again, I'll let the developer speak to that. It is intended that they'll continue to own those properties. However, there is still going to be an HOA. There is two larger areas for the common ground that has the detention as well as the amenities to it. But, their intentions are to keep those envelopes, if you will.
Okay.
All right. I think it's probably right now to go ahead and invite the applicant forward then, or the applicant's agent. Just based on our questions already, if you want to go ahead and address those.
Okay.
State
Thank
your
you.
name and your
Jack
address.
Murphy, 3215 North Juanita Drive, Buckner, Missouri. The whole reason for tonight is when we first submitted during the first one, we submitted 2 pages, but only in, because if you guys look, I'm pretty sure back then it said 1 of 2. You never did get 2 of 2 in here in your meeting, because it did kind of show how we're breaking these up. But the whole reason for breaking these up is on 2 lots, if I go to get a loan, the bank has to loan me all the money at one time to do all of the duplexes, which that would put it up like probably around 15 million to do, you know what I mean, to do all these here. Also, if I go to pull a permit, it's hard to say that this house here, when it's all on one track. So this kind of helps things out too. So now these here is not actually making a lot. If you look, there is separation in between them. It's just going to be the building envelope itself, just what the building sits on. The ground in between it will still be owned and managed and everything by the HOA. So, you know, and I even had a thing from Pony Express Bank basically saying, you know, the whole reason for this is financing. If I go in there, let's just say if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, the first tracks on there, if I was to pay cash and build 4 of them, and now I got to go to a bank and get a loan for 4 or 5 more, the only way a bank will do it is I have to give them the first 4 lots, fully built, and I'm out all the money. Because they have to take that for collateral, because it would all be in one track. So breaking this up just makes it more financial sense, where we can go, if I want to only build 6 of them right now, I can get a loan for 6, get those built, get them up and going. Huh?
A condo?
No, because it's going to be rental property. It's not going to be, we're not selling these.
Okay.
But to get loans on each thing, it's, you know, right now on one track, there's 20 duplexes, on the other one be 19. So if I go get a loan, or if I pay half and I can't afford to do all the rest, I got to go get a loan for the rest. Well, then they take possession of anything that's owned, because anytime you buy a land, the bank has to own the land.
Right.
So whether I have 6 of them built or not, they get them all, because they're putting a loan on track 1 or block 1, I believe it is.
So in other words, you're saying that number 1, envelope 1 goes with track 1. That's how you get a loan on that, and that's how you get a permit for each envelope.
I don't know how that would be. I think it would, because right now, the way it's going to be is each building envelope will have its own address now.
Okay.
So it will basically be, that building envelope will be this address, this address.
Okay, so you're getting a loan and a permit on the address, not on the track 1.
Yes, so that makes it for that entity. So that way the bank knows if for some reason I fail, that piece right there is theirs.
Yeah, they just have that one thing. Okay.
That's the only thing they
that's how
can
that's
get.
broken. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what envelope.
Yeah, and I probably didn't explain that too good there.
Well,
I
no,
apologize.
that helped me there.
It's almost past our bedtime.
So
So that's really all we're trying to do. The development's 99%, I mean, it's done. All I got is the landscaping, and what I mean the landscaping is putting in the tree buffers. Other than that, all the roads, everything else is done. Really close to just start building.
Question. So you have the 4 lots, but McBee is buying the lots, right?
Well, we're not buying them, we already own them.
You already own them. So
Yes, they're all ours.
but they're in okay, so they're in their name.
They're in,
right?
yes.
And then
If
when they're finished, you're going to sell.
No, that's not the intention.
You intend to keep ownership
Yes.
of the home and the ground.
Yes,
And it's going to be an HOA thing.
yes, there'll be an HOA there.
So basically, these people are renting.
Yeah, no, that's what they are. They will be renting from us.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're familiar, but I mean, I have a lot of properties. Literally, here on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the houses that back up to that, I own 4 duplexes on that street alone that back up to this property. So, I mean, we have rental properties. I mean, we don't build them to sell them. You know, what I mean, typically, I mean, I can't think of any properties that we've sold. If anything, we buy. So this here, we can put a little nicer place, you know, and get better quality of people for these places here, because they're gonna be, you know, probably close to 400,000, I would say, somewhere between 330 and 400,000, I'm guessing, you know, per building.
So you're setting up an HOA. How's that going to work?
The HOA maintains the property because we got a lot of green space, we got the walking trails, we got the benches, detention basins that has to be maintained. So we will maintain, like right now, we maintain a lot of our properties by mowing. I got a mowing crew that mows all the time.
But in a regular HOA, the people own the homes and they belong to the association. So how's this one going to work?
This one here, it just will be responsible. I mean, we're the owners. We'll just be
That's why I can't
responsible.
understand why would you have an HOA? Why you need it?
Well, because if in the future, you know, nothing's guaranteed. I mean, in the future, if something was to get sold in the future, it's set up. You can't break it. You know what I mean?
That's why you do an HOA.
Sell the whole, you have to sell the whole thing.
No, you technically wouldn't, but you would have, in the HOA, you could say this unit is responsible for paying X amount of dollars for maintaining the yard, you know, all the different entities. That's what we can put in the HOA to make sure this is a safeguard. Because if you don't put the HOA and something was to happen, I could still sell track 2 or block 2 or block 1, you know. It's just the HOA is kind of what, when we was working with them, is kind of what we had to get set up. I had to get with my attorney. My attorney's already got it kind of drawn up. We're probably 98% done, just waiting for the finalization kind of from tonight. And, then that way it kind of covers everything in case anything does happen. I mean, because nothing's for sure in life. 15 years, they decide they want to sell, you know, and they only want to sell half of them. You know, this covers that. This covers that each unit is responsible for X amount of dollars.
Okay, but they could also sell, one person could come in and want to buy one lot. And then he would move into half of it, and the other person, he could rent to the other person. So now you've got an owner and a renter. And
Well,
then,
it would still be, it would still follow underneath the HOA. They would still be responsible for X amount to be paying for stuff.
yeah, but, okay. Well,
So basically, it's just a
I have to get loans.
safety mechanism built in the future if you needed to sell it,
Not necessarily.
lots.
I can't build nothing. I mean, literally, you can talk to these gentlemen. I could have started building duplexes 5 months ago.
So
I can't.
I do want to kind of clarify the HOA purpose there. So understand that whether these are owner occupied or whether these are leased, each individual in each one of these units would have to contribute a certain amount in order to maintain the common ground
from the beginning.
from the beginning. And
Okay.
it wouldn't matter if this was a single family development or a duplex development or any other type of development.
Okay.
So
That is a good clarification.
Is there a rental house? I mean, a rental office? Or is there an office on this property?
No, it's not.
Okay.
We have our offices literally just right down 24 Highway, right past the car wash.
Right.
On,
Okay. I didn't know if how you guys did that or not. Okay.
yeah, no, it won't be there just because,
Well, it gives you another room for another house.
yeah, which, I mean, we eliminated, I believe we eliminated the duplex so we could help get the extra parking spots.
Right.
Because we got 2 parking lots on both sides to help filter of any excess.
Okay.
All right. Any additional questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone present who would like to speak in opposition of this case? Anyone? Not seeing any. Anyone who'd like to speak in favor? Not seeing anyone. All right, I will I will close the public hearing. I will entertain a motion.
Chair,
Yes,
I make a motion to approve case 26-810-02. That's what I'm gonna say.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All right, I will call for the vote. And we do have two cases, so two votes.
Two votes, yeah.
So,
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh, Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
and Chairperson Wiley.
No. And the motion passes 5-2 on case number 26-810-02. And I will entertain a motion for the final plat.
Chair, I make a motion that we approve case 26-320-03.
Okay,
Second.
I have a first and a second. I will call for the vote.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
No.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Torres,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
and Chairperson Wiley.
No. And the motion passes 5-2 for case number 26-320-03.
You want me to bring you that stuff out?
All right. Anything for the good of the order? All right. We are adjourned.
What's the time?
Okay, so
You gotta go out and go down the hall.
what do you have to do?